And we are live. Strange thing, everyone in daylight.
Yeah, first one.
It is.
But a good card, Cat one. They've got off to a flyer after a missed break.
Yeah. Did you hear why it was postponed?
Moles, apparently.
Moles had dug up the hair rail.
Yeah.
Tremendous, isn't it?
The place is haunted. They need to have an exorcism there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in touch with the trainer to get a dog. One of the pubs called Towcester Mole, but I haven't got in touch with him yet.
That's a good idea. So this afternoon we have special guest, dog guesser, aka Tricky, aka don't know if you use your real name.
No, I'll try and avoid it.
Yeah, it's the safest thing to do.
Yeah, it keeps me out of trouble.
And Paul Carpenter, as you can see, is not Paul Carpenter as originally billed. We have got the King of Middlesbrough, the Mayor of Middlesbrough. Borowati's back. What a treat for the viewers.
Yeah.
You recovered from Friday night, Watty?
Yeah, well, can't keep us going this afternoon. Rich.
I'm on the tee, me.
Crazy as the other two, so it should fit in well.
Look at that, look.
Tea.
I'm also mixing up a bit, having a little McDonald's strawberry milkshake.
Ah.
I think I've been put on the wrong thing here.
Are you on the pop, Tricky?
Yeah, I'm not on the beer though. There can't be. In a bad way from last night, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Sung far too many.
Oh, one more.
Well, I had a few at one more, and then I came back and got trolleyed on my jack.
All right.
Fun, loads of fun.
Yeah, I've abstained so far on the alcohol.
It's the best way.
Don't want to peak too soon.
Sad to I think I drink more in the week than I do at the weekend.
You know, I've been abstaining during the week, and then only because of watch along having a beer on a Friday,
Yeah.
and then it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Thank you everyone for your patience who's tuned in. I did look about 10 minutes ago and there were 7 people in the waiting room ready for us to go live whenever that was going to be. Now that is enthusiasm for the watch along, and I take my hat off to each and every one of you. Right, Naps and Next Best then. Interesting card. PL, what do you fancy?
I've not got masses of fancies. I'm big on Thorn Falcon anti-post, so it's not often I involved anti-post, but I did after the first round, and obviously I've got him at 5, so I'm in a good position now, and he's got a great draw as well. So hopefully he'll oblige. I always get a bit twitchy when I fancy short ones. I thought John Mullins had a couple of chances which I might be interested in. There's a really good sprint later on as well. But I've not got a really strong opinion, so I'd have to say probably Thorn Falcon. I'm hoping John's Fred is okay. John won't run him if he wasn't, and obviously it wasn't a great experience for him. But I think he's got enough early to hold them to the turn if he starts. I don't think they'll get round him. And I thought Not to See Gem might outstart Kirribilli Cathy and lead all the way as well. So they were kind of 3 dogs I was interested in.
Mm-hmm. Watty?
Well, I hadn't looked at the card, to be honest with you, because I obviously didn't think it was going to be on. But again, ever. But looking at it through, I'll nick Kush's nap. That Miss Big Pants. I think it'll be better. So it's got a good draw with 4. It'll go straight rails. And it showed nice pace of Ben last time and checked off. So I think the wider draw suited like it did in the sprints.
9-4 with Bresbet at the moment.
3-1. It was earlier. Yeah. And also Aussie captain. Looks like he's got a good draw to me.
I was torn in the Aussie captain race. Really torn. There's fewer chance in there. Tricky, what do you fancy?
I liked. To be honest, there's only 2 dogs that I really liked enough to bet. One of them was Stefan's Racket in this next race.
Yeah.
Don't get wrong, he's a bang railer, but Fraser pinging box at Towcester, he should clear 1 and 2. And I just thought they should be miles better than them, to be honest. Even the 60 odds trials would be good enough. And the other one I liked as well was Ballymac Biscuit, who's now Savannah Biscuit. The 3 going bang rails. Thought the insides could get messy, and I just thought like 4-1, 9-2-ish. I thought that was far too big. off the Irish form, like 21-20 at Dundalk and won a heat at the Hull Bar 1. I couldn't see how it was so big, to be honest, but I could be wrong. It's been off the track a long time, though, I will say. So might not be the dog it was, but soon find out, I think.
Very good. Boring one for me. Thorn Falcon. Dog improving through the competition, and with anything like a decent break, should be miles ahead of these. Another one that I fancied, albeit is a bit shorter than ideal. Signet Goofy. Got an absolute plot draw out wide. Sherry Baby. In track 5 that turns left should give it a pretty clear run, and then the Savannah Dog in the American. But it's an interesting card to unpick.
He's led on it. It's rocket.
Yeah.
This has just gone off this race here at Towcester.
No, he just had all the time for me.
It's gone
That's part of the show. Sure is off.
Well, that's not getting caught, I don't think.
No, Stefan's rocket goes to the front then.
Yeah.
And yeah, I must admit, I was a bit worried about him just not starting, but I think he's weighed in at Wincanton there.
Yeah, he's bingoed there.
Yeah.
Got
a decent break for him, and he can miss break, but
yeah, he's nice dog. Him like he'll give him a lot of fun, won't he? I think.
yeah, he will.
Handsome dog as well.
Yeah, he's a body dog. Yeah.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, I suppose they're going to try and catch time now, so we'll have to
keep an eye
be on our toes. Yeah,
bit sharper. Yeah.
And did you play, Craig?
Yeah, I backed him. Yeah, even
Good
money,
man.
but nothing ridiculous. But
Like finding it in the street, looking back.
after that break, it was.
Yeah.
It was just a danger of missing the kick by a beat.
Yeah, and you could actually he's going in and two's moving off.
Yeah.
That was my little bit of a worry, I must admit,
Yeah.
because I think he's one of them dogs that he wants to be drawn very near the fence, doesn't he? But he was quality there, and his brakes helped him out there because he's just he's edged across two, and then two's jumped over the back of him a little bit. So, but he looked better class, didn't he, on his Shelbourne form?
Yeah, like he's got wins over Sheik and dogs like that, and what price
whatever you bet now, Craig, I'm going to be with you because you're golden there to get that to come out and clear two immediately.
Yeah,
but that was again, it's that kind of coin toss, isn't it? His class against his draw, but
yeah,
he was good enough to get round it. So fair play. Good start for Craigie.
One going away, very good.
Yeah, I stuck a Trixie on for something to watch. I had him, Aussie captain, and that Catty dog in the next 3 races, so winning start.
Which was the third one in the Trixie?
That Stefan's rocket, Aussie captain, and Kirbilly Cathy.
Kirbilly Cathy, yeah.
It was a go along. But I didn't. Harlow was absolutely rails mad this morning. I got back from the kennels. I had 6-1 winner, 7-2 winner, and the other one come out in a sprint about 5 behind and got beat a length. So I'm still getting over that. Yeah. But the kennel had a nice winner at Sunderland, 5-2 early, won even money in the sprint, won half the track.
Good. Which kennel are you associated with?
I've got some now with Jill Suthers.
All right.
And Glenn Linus up there.
Right.
Trained up at Bishop Auckland that way. So,
right.
Got quite a few in there with them now.
Okay, good. It's always good to go up the kennels, isn't it? My bitch at the moment, she won yesterday, actually, Durando double. She won last night.
Yeah, she ran well, didn't she, to pick up the gamble?
She did run really well, yeah. She's with Jimmy now, so it's got obviously quite a long way to go and see her, so because we're in Leicestershire. But I just thought that, she could go 7-1-4 around there because there's not really masses of opportunities these days to run kind of 6-8 bends. So I thought she could be quick away and probably dominate in 7-1-4. So that would be
7-1-4 showed it better than last night's run, wasn't it? I mean, she was right on top, didn't she? So definitely I think she'd be E1 bitch around there, like.
Yeah, I was just pleased with the way she ran because her tail's been kind of flicking in behind dogs when she was running over the shorter trip and the trials, but she just looks like she's starting to run. I'd say like she's been off as well. So Jimmy had kind of put a bit of condition. He said Sue had been working with her a little bit as well. So I suppose she's getting a bit race fit now.
Takes a bit of getting used to Crayford, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you come from behind.
Yeah, but she's just one of them bitches. It was funny because I said to I tweeted last night that they did call her the weakest link when she was being schooled. There were 6 of them all in. Well, actually, I don't know whether you know, but her brother is Roxanne Biscuit, who got his card marked at Crayford. But her sister is running A1's Waltham Queen at Nottingham. Her brother's retired now. He's on the sofa. Feed the pain. We could never get him right. He was sort of plagued with injuries, really. And there's another sister as well, I think, that Hayley owns. So she I think she's won 15, 16 races now, Durando Double. It's just incredible that she's not a world beater by any means, but she kind of wins in her turn. And the one thing about it is she does try hard, where I think her sister and one of her brothers are obviously a bit quirky, but she seems to be straight down. I mean, her mother was a bit quirky, but Mark knew how to train her. So
Yeah.
So
it's nice when they run over long different distances and can win.
yeah, I think that's the nice thing, is that she's quite versatile, and obviously she didn't really stay the big gallop at Towcester in the Durando, but she got there in the final, which I was quite pleased with.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just one of them solid little kind of top end bitches without being a world beater, you know.
Send
you
you
a bit of
the off times as well for Toaster. Just had the email from Sis.
Ah, nice one. There we go then. Next race.
16 minutes past it is.
So 3:16. Okay, 10 minutes. Nice one. So you're both Aussie captain here?
I'm Aussie captain, yeah.
I'm a chance Fred, me. I think he'll
As
hold.
am I.
I thought he'd definitely hold, especially after the 2 runs they've raced like. He's led him from the outside of him, but he's got the pinger box, hasn't he, captain? That's the only problem with that.
My worry with Chelmsford as well is if he's had any loss of confidence, because that was quite a crashing fall in that last run and hasn't been round the track since. But even on his worst breaks, I think he's got every chance of leading this.
Yeah, same. Only problem, like you say, it's just that thing of, he's had that fall and that, and I wouldn't really want to be backing him at 6-4 or anything, but wouldn't be for me getting involved. But yeah, I thought he should have been favourite. Like a couple of firms had him the opposite way round.
Yeah.
Today they were like 2-1 Fred or something.
Well, they met Craig, didn't they? And I think Chelmsford was on the outside of Aussie captain, and Aussie captain, in my eyes, if they break level, can't get around him.
Yeah, that's it.
The worry is that he's not. I don't think he's really a trap one dog as such. So
I think he could miss here, couldn't he, from one, like, and obviously that free
and
box
edge off as well. Probably not really going to be a bang railer, but I don't know what it is about John. He always seems to be able to get him to bingo when required, and but yeah, that's the worry. Is it's not really the bingo box, is it, from Red? Especially if you're not really a track one specialist, and I don't think you could say that Chelmsford was necessarily.
He's probably a blue, innit?
He was the angry dog, wasn't he? The
angry dad
dog that
Angry Dad, yeah.
Cronin had, yeah. Who, to be fair, did run well in the Towcester.
He's come out of trap one once around Towcester, albeit 16th of May last year. Did a 4:17 sectional, 29.60, which would that win that today? Probably not. A long time ago.
He's got a good time in his card. They're only 29,
20 odd,
29,
30, 40 minus 10,
yeah.
Beating Sign It Denver. So it's whether you can. There are. I think Craig's right. He's probably the most likely winner. Do you really want to be taking 6-4, 30-8 about him when he's had?
If he hadn't had that fall, what would he be?
He's been off 14 days, hasn't he? He's been off 14 days. I say it's really tough because ideally, I think for him to break the bars down, I'd prefer him wearing white. But
Stephen Bradshaw, Koosh, a fall like Fred had surely should have to have a trial before racing. Yeah, I mean, Mullins wouldn't be putting the dog round if he didn't think he was.
I think
right.
sometimes
And I'm sure he's galloped him and stuff. But
he might not have seen him run a bend though. That's the big thing. He could have done a muscle, and it's all right in the straights, but when you're putting him around the bend, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to John would get his dogs checked over, but
Yeah.
it's I know what Kush is saying, because for me, from a purist point of view, and from being talking from a punter, I'd really want to see, because I think the fact that he's completed the course, then he doesn't have to retrial. I think that's the
that's the
Correct,
rule.
yeah.
to it.
But
And then they put down
he was
36
a
lengths he got
street
beat.
behind, yeah.
Yeah. So
And he ran. To be fair, he ran okay to the drop. He looked absolutely fine as he.
Yeah.
I watched the video of it. He looked absolutely fine as he came
but
in.
there's kind of two things there, though, Tom, isn't there? The one is, I think it's the mental side of it, as you say,
yeah,
the experience of it. Although he's had plenty of experience at Towcester.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, as Craig said, did he sort of hurt himself a little bit? Did he pull something? But so the 2 weeks off, I'd probably rather see him off 2 weeks than sometimes. I think there's a couple today, Craig. One was of 28 days at Doncaster with that does my nutting, because how do you know whether they're right or not right? It's a strange thing, really, because you have to have your first day, your first grading race within 21 days, I think, of your last grading trial, and yet once you're on the strength, you can be 28 days. And
for me as well, how can a dog be fit as well? If you
exactly
just sort of running it.
Even if you give a sprint, you can get some kind of guide, can't you? And I'm a strong believer that, and I think even from a training point of view, which I'm a bit surprised, but the way that John's done this, in that if it was me, for his own confidence, the dog's confidence, I'd just give him a solo. But then, having said that,
I think sometimes, just how it looks. Like if you actually, if say, I mean, God forbid that something went wrong with a dog today. If he's got the trial on his card there doing 29.50, you can say, well, the dog's sound before we put it in that race. If something happened now, there'd be that little bit of doubt, wouldn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I just think from you're right. It's basically, and this is what I keep banging on about, and people do forget, it is a gambling sport, and people should be encouraged to have the bet, and they shouldn't be turned off by things like this, because this is a bit of an anomaly. I said I'm a bit surprised John's done it, but
I wouldn't question 3-4 days or whatever about not being able to run your dog, but then let you.
Yeah, just it kind of doesn't really all add up particularly. But so what is he now, Tom? 13 to 8.
Chance for 13 to 8. 11 to 8 on the board. Brezpet are just miles ahead on these prices. There's 10 to 1 on the boards on the 2, 22 to 1 with Brezpet.
To have an interest, Craig, what do you think? 2 to 1 plus?
Yeah, I'd want to be getting sort of maybe even a bit bigger, to be honest. Maybe like pushing 5 to 2. I think it's a straight match. I can't have anything else in the race, to be honest.
No.
But then one will either come first or last.
Just to jump in there, the trainer from Mullingar, William Berry, he's put up get your money on Trap 5 Linodi Spark in the third race at Mullingar, 5 to 1.
Right. What time's that?
I think I've just had the first race. On the RPG TV or the third race on the card.
I'll have a goosey.
And have you had an interest? You've got Aussie captain in your Trixie, Paul?
Yeah. It's in the 337, that dog.
Okay.
I know when I've watched RPG TV on a Sunday, he always emails in with all these runners.
Yeah, he does.
I've looked at Northern Ireland on and run the dogs there.
Yeah. Quirky track, isn't it, Mullingar?
Yeah, very.
Third bend's really weird.
It's almost like the Enmo straight, isn't it?
I've seen a head. Yeah, I've seen a head on it. It is like it's a real, like an aerial shot of it, and it's a really, really strange looking configuration of a track.
One of them places a bit like Enlo, won't it? Just dogs will either run it or they'll hate it. Like
I think so. Yeah.
I don't understand the race times for Mullingar on the race post app. It says the first race at midday and then the second race at 7:50 in the evening. What do I do with this information?
It's not great, is it? That. Still 11 to 8.
So how far are we? 2 minutes supposed to be,
Yeah.
but no sign of the dogs yet.
This is the weird thing here. Like, I mean, that's been pushing like 15 to 8 the machine, and it's still sat 11 to 8. Like, you know, in open racing like this, the SIS have got to start looking and, you know, seeing what the other races actually are, rather than just assuming everything's a bloody an MLO 8-12 meeting. You know, just puts people off having a bet, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, they're behind the boxes. Have you played, Tom?
I've not. No. When I did the card on the Times, I fancy Chelmsford quite strong. But having watched the video of how crashing that fall was, I've decided to swerve it.
And what about Baltiero framing up from a fair
Yeah,
draw?
I was just about to say, yeah, Baltiero, if you want a bit of value in this race, is absolutely the obvious one, isn't it?
But yeah, obviously, I think you need a break to get in the race. That's the thing. But
Yeah, he should lead the Sammy dog though, shouldn't he? And obviously 4 moving rails as well.
Yeah.
1364
really.
sectional round Romford as well.
He's got a fair Irish card, Craig, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's a nice dog. He's just, I don't know. He just reminds me of a bit of a. Without trying, I don't want to offend the dog like, but just a bit ploddish.
Yeah, I wonder whether actually he would go 6 bends. You know,
Yeah, he might not. He might be a dog that doesn't even really get the 6 bends that
he
strong.
hasn't got a trip like exactly. Yeah.
There's a few dogs like that, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they've just gone 6-4 now. Jeez.
That's funny enough. That's as his price is shortened on. That's his price is shortened on Betfair.
2.6 late. And,
He's back
they were nearly together at one point. They were 2.82 and 2.88. I think it's something like 2.63.15 now.
Here we go.
Okay, good luck with your bets then. There's running.
He's round.
Off and racing. 1 and 3 goes to the turn along with 4 on the outside. Chelmsford goes up on the inner and hits the front. Oh, knocked over there was a 3-4's gone lame, and 6 has been interfered with. And down the far side, Chelmsford has gone 4-5 lengths clear from Cantor Jack. Then in behind these comes Russian Sammy. They're well strung out around the last 2 turns, and it's red. Chelmsford with a still 4-length lead. We'll go on to score nicely in the end for John Mullins. 1, 2, and 5 the call. Cantor Jack running well for Adams here in second spot.
Only just, yeah.
As good as it's come out of trap 1 and everything, it still doesn't want to be on the rails, I don't think.
No.
The middle runner shouldn't be a railer.
This is the problem though with these sort of things, isn't it? There's so many like this, and you know, you can argue till you're blue in the face, but nothing ever gets done. You know, people, Mark himself, he does it all the time, and if you think a dog wants the free, they just see it at rails, thinking you're more chance of getting your actual box.
Oh yeah.
Well, I must admit, last year I think Gary Noble came out. I mean, you know, Gary. I know Gary really well. I used to do cards with him when I lived in Essex, and he came up. He's been we've owned dogs together, we've bred dogs together. He came up with the ideal box scenario, and I kind of jumped on it and agreed with it. I think if you put down the trap that you really want to be, and if you said to John Mullins been in the game years and years, said, would Chelmsford ideally want 1? He'd go, no, he want 3. So if you put him down as that, then Aussie Captain's going to get drawn in the right box. Chelmsford's going to get drawn in the right box more times than not. And I think from my point of view, I'd probably rather see Chelmsford in 4 than 1. So if you've got an ideal box for Chelmsford in 3, within that line, that you probably say Aussie Captain probably wants 1, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
He's drawn the wrong way around, to be fair, yeah. But
it's like through the derby. When you look at like Signet Ace and Forest Gold, that's cost them. When they both drawn red in the quarters, it's not
exactly. And I had what happened was Paul Illingworth was. I was obviously commentating throughout the derby, and Paul Illingworth came into the commentary box quite a lot. And I've got to tell you the truth, he drove me mental. But it was only because I suppose he wanted to. I suppose on Twitter I put a few things, and he was interested in the concept of the the ideal box scenario. And he actually in the end listened to me, and he said, "Well, you come back in a couple of consecutive nights," and he said, "Oh, I'll put that to the committee in, I think it was September."
The only problem with that is that they've got to be honest when they give the actual trap that they want, because a lot of people just we're finding ourselves too wide because we're saying 3 or 4, and then they'll turn around and start going, well, we want the 1, and then just be like,
but Craig, surely someone with some kind of, I mean, say, just take for instance yourself, in that you're an odds compiler, you watch videos, so there must be someone similar to you that maybe is not connected with a firm or something like that, that's fairly independent, that can help assess that as well. Because that's the other thing, is it's a bit like in the old days, it was either rails or wide, so you could get one if your dog wants to move, and now we got middle. But now, you know, we've gone through a lot of the stuff where I think Rab McNair said, you know, people were tactical seeding and stuff like that, and it drives you insane. But surely someone can say, well, hang on, that's not a railer.
well,
So
it should be a
well, it's
race
not middle, because I get that. Yeah, I don't want 1, but then I don't want 5 if I put myself middle. So if you have an ideal box, there's in my eyes, if you say with Chelmsford Fred, for instance, he's a 3 dog. He'll either get drawn probably 2, 3. He might get drawn 4, but essentially he's going to get somewhere near his ideal box within the context of the dogs that he's going to be running against, and that's the key to it. And there will be instances, and I know JK mentioned something, and he's right. You don't want them running completely in lanes, but you want them running near enough in the lanes where, if you've got, say for instance, a dog like, Deerjet Sydney, who wants trap 0. Now, there might be another dog that wants sort of lane 1 after 2, but he'll probably say my ideal box is 1. So one night that dog will get drawn 1 and Sydney will get drawn 2. But you're going to have to just live with that. That's okay. Yeah. You know, we're not saying you can't have lane 0. You can't have trap 1 every time you run. So, but it's when those dogs get 4, that they carve up the field, and then you've got your welfare issue. But
surely, the same thing in the derby.
If you just experiment with it, just give it a go and see what happens. And I personally think it'll work. I really do.
I had a bit with Carl Perry about Corny Wonderland, and they seeded that as a railer. Drew 1, you had Sydney in 2, and Prince in 3. Like, and and I'm trying to explain to him the dog's not a railer, and he's like, well, he's on the rail down the back, and I'm like, but out the cans, he's moving off from 2. Like, what don't we see about it?
Always, as a racing manager, that's where you've got to seed your dogs from traps
to the first bend. Yeah,
not down the back straight. There's a dog that runs at Doncaster that is seeded wide. He probably wants trap 4, and he rails down the back straight. I can't even remember the name of the dog now. Is it? It'll come to me. But that sort of thing. But you can't seed him. You know, you can't seed him as a railer because he's got to move off right the way into the middle. He doesn't really want to be wide necessarily. But this is what I keep saying about, if you have that tag against the name of a dog with an ideal box, that's what it's got to be. Ideal box. Not every time it runs, but you would get some kind of a semblance. And then if you did have sort of some kind of committee or someone that was responsible just for reviewing it all the time. What really annoys me is that we get stipendiary stewards. They look at race cars. They don't look at too many races. They don't look at any videos. How do they know? How are they policing the sport properly?
Well, the old dog we've got at Monmore now, account closed. He had a trial out of trap 1. Well, he doesn't want to be. If you watch his Sheffield runs, they always put him out wide. He didn't want to be out wide, but he's a clever dog. He'll go inside. He'll go outside to get a run. So you were saying down the back straight. If there's a dog running middle down the back, he'll go up the inside of it. He's not bothered. If the dogs are on the rail, he'll go around him, and that's how he runs. He's just a clever, like Oldham Spy dog. So he's a clever dog, but he doesn't want to be in trap 1. And like you said, I said to Darren, what the hell's he doing in the trial? And he's having a trial tomorrow, and they put him in trap 2 on the inside of 2 dogs. I think they've got him in the 4 the wrong way around, but definitely once he starts going in races, you don't want to be in trap 1, that's for sure.
No. And that's the problem as well. If they keep putting like comments on the card like rails to mid and stuff, you're going to find yourself in the 2 and the 3. Because that's all they're going to do. They're going to keep you inside, aren't they?
I think he'd be fine out of 3 or 4, but he does not want to be in trap 1 under a million years, you know what I mean? But
I've got to tell you, this is what I say. I had a conversation with Andy Lisbon. I got a little bit. I lost my rag a little bit, but you know, I'll get on really well with him. He's a really good lad. I said to him, "What's the difference between rails to middle and middle to rails?" And he laughed at me. I said, "What do you mean? You ain't answer me." Well, he said it's obvious, but I said I don't know it is obvious, and I don't really know whether that what his opinion of rails to middle and middle to rails could be different to someone else, some other racing manager. I suppose I write down on against every dog the lane that I think that dog's going to run. The lane it's going to run,
Yeah.
And sometimes I put a half or a 3/4 or a 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 or 2 3/4 or 3 1/2. But all this rail, no rails to middle. But what does it mean? Because some dogs will move off from track 1, and yet then you'll put them in track 3 and they'll move in. Some dogs you can put them in track 3, they'll stay as straight as a die. You can put middle. You put them in track 1, they'll stay straight as a die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all about knowing. So I personally think some of these comments that they are confusing. They don't help any other racing manager when they go open racing.
Yeah.
So if you have the tag against that dog of that ideal box, and if a trainer says, "Well, I think you want to be moved in or you want to be moved out," there's a review, and you can move it in one box or out one box. I think it's quite a sensible way of doing it, and it will lead to less trouble, and it'll give clarity to other racing managers when they go open racing.
Well, all I go on about was welfare done, so it's a welfare issue, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it is a welfare issue, of course it is, because a lot of my argument would be as well, Paul, that when you've got 5 and 6 meetings a week, do you think the trainer's going to be there for 5 or 6 meetings and knowing where his dog runs?
No way.
No chance. No chance. So it's kind of, I think it's got to be taken out of the hands of the trainer to a certain extent, and viewed by a kind of independent panel, if you like. But once that dog's got that tag, he's got the tag.
Yeah.
And then if you want it looked at, just it gets flagged up. You look at it and go, no, it's staying where he is, or yeah, okay, we'll move him in slightly, or change him from a 3 to a 4, or a 6 to a 4, or 6 for 5, or whatever you want to do.
The only issue with that is, like, if it was left to the racing officers as well, you know yourself, when you ring up some racing officers, the last thing you want to do is speak to an owner or anything like that, and they rarely want to listen to what you've got to say.
There is that, but again, that's what I'm trying to say. You take it out of the hands of even a racing manager.
Yeah.
Well, then what
all you get from racing managers, we're too busy.
Yeah, to be honest, they're paid to watch. They're paid to watch dogs and grade cards and know what dogs can do. And often, how many like glaring errors are there in like entries for opens and stuff like that?
So too many.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're not dog people. That's the problem. They just sit there. A dog run from 3 last week, so I can put it in 3, 4, or 2 next week.
One of the other issues is how many times is there a redraw? So have you had that to the equation?
Okay.
3 minutes to the off.
Yeah.
This is an interesting race, this one.
Betting the dog Craig said.
I like this dog. I think I just don't know how it's so big. I really don't.
I do prefer, but I think this is his box as well, Craig. I think this is where he wants to be drawn.
And such a massive draw as well. They've got a slug outside him. Nothing really in the 6. It's just like
So this is Savannah Biscuit.
Yeah, it was Ballymac Biscuit with. I think the only thing is it's been off the track a long time, and that's probably why it's so weak. But I could have made a case for making this jolly, to be honest. Like I really could, and 21-20 round Dundalk could be.
Yeah, it's fast time, isn't it? It'd be up there with them in the sprint.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Just such a good draw, and everything else. It's just 16 dead can win this. I think. Especially with the 3 darting across and a bit of scrimmaging inside, like. But probably come on for that trial as well. Like I think it was 16.05 or 16 dead or something.
What was it called in Ireland then?
Ballymac Biscuit.
Oh right, okay. It might be because we mate was on about him buying a dog off a guy, and I'm sure that was a Ballymac dog.
Yeah,
he tried to buy it a few times. He wouldn't sell it, but
this is looks like it's come over and then just it must have had just some problems and that it's been off the think the trial before these two were August time.
Yeah, August, September, then December, then January. Yeah. It's obviously had
It's
some
not actually got a
problems.
name change on the race card, is it?
No, that's another thing
No.
that's just poor, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
If you're looking at that and you go into the track and you don't, you just think, oh, Savannah Biscuit could be anything, couldn't it?
I don't know whether you know, Craig, but my partner Lorraine, she was a stipendiary steward, and that's all she ever did was go through and check to see if there were any
Mistakes on cars.
any name changes. Yeah, through the race cards, she used to get them and look at them, go through them, and then she'd ring the race officer up and say, "Make sure you change that." To try and stop them, because in the old days you get a steward's inquiry and fined and all sorts, because it is misleading the public, isn't it? Let's get it right.
It is, yeah, and like you say, it's a punting sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they've got to realise people need information to have a bet.
Yeah.
Trap 3 Knockasee Gem is pretty well drawn in 3. It's been running out of 1 and 2 the last few races and been trying to get right a little bit. So I think it's going to go better out of 3.
I think that's where he wants to be. Yeah. Sorry, I thought Craig was talking about that, and he fancies Biscuit, but I'm with 3 because I think he'll just go wallop and he wants to be where he is. But I've had to save him 4 because Craig's golden at the moment.
Well, at that price, yeah. But I mean, yeah, if you're picking up this card and this is all you see, and you look at these times, Savannah Biscuit has done 16:37, 16:05, 16:08, and then you look up at Knockasee Gem 15:79, and it looks a couple of lengths ahead. You've got to go back and look at that form, look at that Irish form to see what this dog's actually, potentially can do.
The thing is with this, it could be probably a 6-4 poke, or it could be a million poke. It's one of them. If it's not right, it's not winning. But I'd be happy enough to take a chance. And the trials weren't terrible, and it probably come on for that as well.
Yeah, trials for sure, races for door. Don't worry about trials.
And you've got Kirribilli Cathy, Paul, in your Trixie.
Yeah.
Have you played single ear at top up or not?
Nah. Not when I've just watched another replay of it, no.
This is getting weaker and weaker, Savannah Biscuit. Have you more on, Craig?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I'm with 3. I've covered on 4 now.
It's not a great bend for the sprint trip. It's one of the dogs facing the other way, yeah. One of the dogs has turned.
All them Towcester handlers seem to take a while before they'll let them go.
She's waved a flag anyway. This is the Northamptonshire Sprint Trial Stakes away and racing, and 6 Millhouse Turbos took one on the outside from up on the inner. Knockasee Gem, who's just got past Kirribilli Cathy, has come out the second turn. Knockasee Gem goes up on the inside of Millhouse Turbo up towards the line. Knockasee Gem will win for JM. 3-6-1 the order.
Pretty much what I expected it to do.
Yeah. I didn't do a Trixie either.
The thing, it's no good for the wides this trip. Looking at that there with that 6 length head of 3, that's beaten. It needs to be a length. A 6 needs to be a length further in front going into that turn.
Although I will say that Kirribilli Cathy, she's just got a little bit pinched back, didn't she? There, but she did come and claim 6 last time, so he's probably run to his form there. 6 may be a bit better, but.
It's just that betting for wide runners.
I don't think, it's not a sprint trip for wide runners. It's a 2-length handicap.
Yeah.
Look at the photo on there of the molehills.
That's it, and that stopped the meeting for 40 minutes. Christ almighty. And if it stopped the meeting the other night for the same thing, said it's the second time it's happened.
How fucking big are those moles? Good God.
How do you let it happen twice?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, though, aren't there, that have happened that shouldn't do. And
yeah.
obviously, there's a lot of good, some little things just have to be sorted out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everyone just sees it. Oh, it's negative. It's negative. But people just want the sport done right. It's not
Yep.
not asking for the world or anything.
And it's not huge changes that are often needed to make things a lot better. Yeah, exactly what you just were talking about before that last race with the seeding. That's obvious to anyone that if dogs have preferred boxes, you're better off putting them in their preferred box than going, they'll be in 1, 2, or 3 because they're a railer and that's it. And that's how the draw goes. It's just so obvious. It's so easy to implement and it doesn't happen. The thing, Towcester is it's the only, probably the only track you could take work clients to and know they'd be impressed by the spectacle of it. The restaurant's really good. It's a good setting. You're a long way back, but I think the viewing's very good there. Good facilities, middle of the country, easy to get to. But the circuit's just never been right. The rumours when it went in was the GBGB had insisted on minimum radius for the bends. And they based it on one of the Australian tracks, I think Wentworth. But that was a track that obviously has an inside hair rather than outside hair. And it was just never right. Obviously, Kevin's taken it over and changed the orientation of the track, but it's just still not right. And as I was saying to Ryan when he was on, why can't we have this is a blank canvas. Why can't we have a Shelbourne Park in the UK? Why can't we have a track like that of that distance with the multiple finish points, multiple boxes for the different distances, the same camera on the bends? It obviously works. The racing is good and tends to be fair around Shelbourne. Why can't we have a track like that in this country? Closest we've had, there's Hall Green was quite fair, I suppose, Wimbledon, but there's less and less of those. There's more and more of these quirky tracks that just make it difficult to pick winners. Maybe that's part of it being a bookmaking sport. That it's
interesting.
They're favouring the tracks that are not in the interest of the punter, and they don't want to create tracks that favour fair racing and give us a reasonable chance as punters. I don't know. It's easy to have conspiracy theories, but it could be better. It
The
just
best
could
track
be a
on
bit
best track
better.
on RPG TV for me is Doncaster.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, agreed.
Even the 450, the dogs have a chance to get the bend. There's not always massive trouble, but if the only thing you would maybe change there is to have a second winning line, and then you still got a long run to bend. I know that won't suit Craig because he's all about draws and everything. So
I agree though. I've never understood why they've not had 2 winning lines in this country. I think it's just makes sense.
They get so confused.
This is the Mullingar race. This is the Mullingar race.
This is trap 5. Good luck to Mr. Berry.
Anyone else bet this?
I just had a tenner on it.
Yeah, I've had a tenner on it as well.
Yeah, a fun tenner.
It's a confident statement, isn't it? Get your money on this.
Yeah.
You might have a lynch mob outside his house after this.
Yeah.
Can't be using words like that. Got to be. It's a chance. The dog's well in itself. It's a free on code, but it doesn't matter. He's bouncing. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Come away, all right. Go on, son.
Yes.
Go on, son. Get round.
I must be behind you.
Ooh, that 3's looking strong. I think that's gonna. It's taken off the 3. Cameraman's had a few pints at lunchtime. It's heavy old ground there.
Not to be.
Not to be.
He's done his job there, Annie. He's bet the 3. Put us all away.
She's not run bad, to be fair.
No, it's run all right.
To beat the rest of them. So the winner was 22s on the machine.
Wow. Ben Green's got a view on Towcester. Track's a disaster. Facilities are great. Most dog men would stand in a field and watch dogs run. If the track and racing was good, but Towcester's made for people who want to go racing.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I like going there.
Yeah,
I
same.
do like going
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But
I wouldn't be my first choice to like actually go and watch dogs there though.
No, it's funny because when they did, not too many people like 8-dog racing, but when they did the 8-dog racing there on the Saturday mornings, I couldn't wait to get up and do them. I loved it.
It's
mind
hard
you,
enough picking a winner with
I had a
6
Bet
dogs.
365 account then, but
The Holy Grail.
but yeah, yeah. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind that. But it's one of those. I said earlier on, I think I'd never really want to bet a short one round Towcester, and yet I stuck up 2 short ones, and they both won earlier on. So. But yeah, I don't really want to get stuck into short ones by any means. I always seem to get them beat there, but
So hard to pass though, isn't it? That's the problem. It's the type of dog you need there.
yeah, you're right.
You find dogs just clambering over back of other dogs, and
Yeah.
it's just a horrible place to. You can't pass on the bends. You have to do your run on the straights, and it's just not a place I like, to be honest. But you know, it's the best place for the derby anyway. It's the only place that can probably have it.
It is. Apart from Hove, if Hove moved to the middle of the country.
Yeah, and have parking facilities.
Yeah.
That'd be it. Yeah.
What do you think of the 500 distance around Hove?
I always like the 515 to be honest, but it's it kind of is what it is, isn't it? It's better for a lot of dogs, and I'm surprised they don't mix it up a bit more. Do you know, with the shorter distance as well, and have some 515 graded. But again, that takes work for racing managers, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
most of them aren't capable of doing it, to be honest. So they struggle enough with what they've got.
Interesting. I think it's an okay trip, isn't it? The fire. I mean, it was in my eyes. Hove was always 515, but I don't know. There's
Better than the 490.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I've got to say, on this next race, Mermaid at 10-1 is a shockingly big price. I think 1 and 2 are going to tangle each other.
Yeah.
Because one's going to move right, which messes up 2. Then of the others, the obvious one is 4, and 10 is just huge.
It's been running really well when I've seen it the other day on the card. Like,
yeah, I didn't know whether I must admit I had one moving off, but I didn't know whether 2 would move off a little bit herself. But
This was a race I really didn't like.
No.
Thought it was horrible. I'm just going to lay 1 and 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pray for a result.
Yeah.
I just think it's horrible, this race. I don't know what the 2's done to justify being odds on.
No.
it's 12 on the machine at the minute. Tom, 12.5 Mermaid. Tom, stick a 10 on.
With commission, that's not far
Follow
off
it.
the 10-1.
Yeah.
I'll follow you in with. I'll stick a 10 on it. Hope it goes bingo like last time.
You can't forget the commission on Betfair. It's easy to. But it's there. It's real.
That's only 2%. It's not all bad.
Yeah, I'm going to have a score on the 4.
Clonmel last week, Tom. Does it bring you back any sadness when you were over there?
Clonmel is such a good few days. You've got to get into the racing. You can't just turn up for it. It's not a great betting. Yeah, you put your bets on at the start. There isn't really much in the way of match bets. I mean, usually it's the odds at 1 to 10 and stuff against others because they're quite obvious in the early rounds. But it's just a great spectacle. Just a great spectacle. Fantastic atmosphere. Proper dog people. And those coursing dogs are just absolutely stunning. They are the best of the breed. They're just huge.
Yeah.
Huge animals.
I did enjoy it when we went over, but like I said,
I went probably 3 or 4 years on the bounce. I've been there for a while, I must admit. But the last time I went round to where they do the dogs, and I watched Holly massage a dog he got deep into the comp. It was just an awesome sort of experience just to watch a master at work. He was literally, after he'd massaged the dog, he was knackered. Holly, not the dog.
Yeah.
But it was just brilliant just to watch it. It's really,
Yeah.
really good. I saw Owen around there as well. Owen had a dog in a stake, and
Darren had one when we were over, didn't he? When it's,
Choose your
name now.
weapon, I think.
oh yeah.
He had a big white coursing dog in his kennels for a while, and it's just the most stunning dog.
I don't think he got a chance to run, did he?
No, it didn't.
so have you laid the front two then, Craig?
Yeah, I've taken them both on, yeah, and just pray for a result. I like these sort of races where there's two that are short enough. Take them both on. You don't do any damage if one of them wins either.
Very true. Very, very true.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
With a small bet on 4 and just a small lad 1 and 2.
Now you watch the 1-2 forecast romping.
Standard procedure, innit?
Yeah. I wonder, is place lay an option because you're relying on trouble for 1 and 2 to get beaten, or is there not enough strength in the rest of the race that you think that
Again, you can't do a lot of damage.
enough?
That's the thing, but
Yeah.
I think if you're going to do a place lay, you just have to go against one of them, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah. More for early paces as well, to be honest.
Mm.
Right. Seeing as my Sky's probably behind Borough what is, the hare's running. Good luck with your bets here.
Go on, 4. Go on,
No
4.
arrow racing.
Power.
4's bombed out with 3 swift
Gonna get
unkind. Pace from 2 up on the inner. West Up Eva has gone round in front. What's Up Eva then for Richard Rees? Has a 3-length lead from the 4 Mermaid, who's chasing hard in second. Then comes the Zazira's Rosie Bitch in third. They reach the third turn. It's 2 with the lead. Some 3-4 lengths clear. 2 from 4. Then comes 1. That's the order as they turn for the judge. What's Up Eva is in supreme isolation. Will go on to win it nicely. Good effort from Mermaid in second.
Yeah.
Third spot, Zazira's Rosie.
Yeah, that was the worst winner. That was the worst loser as well for my book. Tremendous.
Impressive. Oh, just an okay break as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, one stayed a lot truer to its line than I thought it would.
Yeah.
4's ran well again for
Yeah,
running
very
really well.
It's that bend. It's lost just by being that little bit out wider. It's lost that length.
This is the point where I always go, and I did this morning, Craig. I always look and go, oh, what was that in the place market? And then go, no. Why didn't I look in the place market?
What was it?
3 to 1. You could have burgled a bit of 4 to 1.
Yeah,
I did that with my old pal this morning, Kilberry Tiger.
Oh yeah. He's some boy, isn't he?
I backed him at I think 6. Then he went out to 10, so I had a bit more on. And then on the Betfair, I think he went out to 14. So I just pressed up and didn't even think to bet in the place market. And Colmore Blakey, who was up 2 grades and normally just walks out and beats up B6 dogs, took one. And he jumped over its back around the first 2 bends and still chases Cocos off to try and catch it.
He has 2. I think the last 2 races now that Blakey dog he's fingered on. He's took a flyer like.
Yeah.
Well, by his standards anyway.
Yeah, by his standards. Yeah. He's broke better, put it that way. Yeah, but he broke even better today, and he was 2 grades up. But he had a good draw because flew
To
the
be
coop
fair, that
going.
Blakey dog as well was against the going, wasn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't work out the
To a
game, to
certain
be honest with
extent.
you. Yeah.
To be honest, I've not really watched anything today. I'll have to go back and watch it. But
it's really
what do we all
annoying
make
when
of this tomahawk?
Say again?
What do we all make of this tomahawk dog here in the next?
Let's have a look back at its form.
I found him hard to get a grip of me.
Hello, everyone. Good few viewers this afternoon. I didn't know whether I thought it might just be the 4 of us talking amongst ourselves. But Sunday afternoon, obviously a popular start. Probably 'cause there's not much football on.
You know, I don't know much about the dog. I've got to show you the truth. I don't.
Looking it up like it's going to be some sort of superstar over the staying trips. I don't know where they're getting this from. Like,
Let's pop it up.
What you get for getting a first class reserve in, Tom? I'll send you the bill in the post.
That's it. People come expecting a bit of drama.
Tom, it's nearly 4 o'clock. I might have to go and get a beer now.
Oh, you deserve it.
Well, that Tomahawk dog's 11 to 10 early with the firms. Well, with Ladbrokes, 9 to 4 on the machine at the minute.
Absolutely paceless, isn't it, the dog?
Yeah, well, I've seen it. Yeah.
I don't understand how they're talking it. Like, it's going to turn last dog against stayers. It's different picking off dogs that are bloody. They're all short and don't stay the 500 properly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cynic, but well, it's not even doing loads of running. It's starting to run a bit now, but not to say it's going to be a superstar is a bit of a piss take.
You have to sell the shares somehow, don't you?
Yeah, just a bit. I like this 6 dog here, me. He's a bit of a quirky dog and a bit weird. He went to Nottingham. I had me stones on him at like massive prices.
Oh, yeah. I bet him last time they were second of the field and nicked a few quid. The wrong dog won as it turned out in favour, but he does come from whether this track will suit him. But one thing he does is stay, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's weird though because like he hit the front at Nottingham and just jacked it in. I'm sure this is the same. Yeah, it is the same dog. Yeah, he completely jacked it. He got round the bend, and I'm thinking, how far is this going to win? He could win 20, and just jacked in completely. I was like,
that against that Bagner Green Amber.
Yeah, he went round. He led round as well, and he just completely packed in. Very, very strange. Don't think he's ever been round here though, has he?
No, it's a problem. It's when he does run wide, doesn't he?
No, not had a look. Rarely far away.
Yeah, he's a good sort of place free dog. Like it'd be one of them types, but just much sooner have him than the Tomahawk dog because I think at least in a wee stays.
Yeah, because like you say, when you see him in a Monmouth, he finishes like a train, doesn't he? So you think...
Look, a marathon dog, yeah.
You wonder if with the bubbly dogs you do get some false favourites because there's 100 owners having their tenner on or whatever. That is a lot of money in the overall market, and a lot of them do go off a lot shorter than they probably should be.
Yeah, they do. To be fair, I think the value there is probably just laying the back out of him because obviously Youngie and he's got a lot of dogs on him. It's hard work, like.
Yeah, he does. It's a different operation within the kennels, though, for the open dogs. They have their own block and their own kennel hound dedicated to them.
Jesus. It's even worse than I thought then. Like with dogs like 3Ms and stuff that just completely fell off a cliff, like. Coming from Kevin Boone. But
yeah, they come in and out of form a bit. It's the drainage isn't particularly good at the kennels, so they can't do as much with them when it's sort of really wet and muddy. So his dogs do tend to run a little bit better in the summer and as the weather improves. So it's quite a hard race, this one, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that have form are pretty close together on the times and in terms of their profiles.
It's just a really strange race.
The thing, isn't it? It's how many will actually stay.
Yeah.
I could drag 6 into the race, so because you'll have someone that doesn't stay bombing off the front, and then when they all stop at the 5th bend, might just get a run round them. Because one thing it does is stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little nibble on the 6. I'm gonna take on the front 2 as well, just for why not?
Has DT Slider been round Towcester?
No, never been round.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
I think it's one of them sort of dogs.
It's a roll of a dice, isn't it? It's because there's no form and we're not sure on anything else. You look at that and you go, "That's a decent dog. Could do it at a price."
Yeah, I think it's one of them sort of things as well with that Slider dog. He'll either take to somewhere, it won't. I don't think it'll matter. I think he's that much of a of a screw. Like I just think he's depends what sort of mood he's in. Like Munmore, he just comes from the clouds. You'd think he's a marathon dog.
Yeah.
Like I say, at Nottingham that time, he just jacked in completely when he led round and didn't want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, soon find out, I suppose.
Take a chance at 7-1 for Buttons.
Yeah, that's it. And like you say, the one's not a million miles away from the freeze form either, is it?
No.
No.
Especially at the prices.
I think there's ways to get both of these beat, to be honest, but well, I hope there is.
Yeah. Well, Bubbly Tomahawk, is it 29.92? It's done here in the trial.
Yeah, it's got a 70
Offer.
on the card as well.
For very slow sectional, but going, you don't know what it's going to do as it goes further.
It didn't look like it was staying massively strong to me the last day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of them. It just looks like he didn't really do lot too soon either. That's the thing. So as you say, he's going to then be behind dogs. I thought actually I just watched Droopy's Good Time.
Yeah, he just looks after himself, doesn't he?
I thought that was a bit unlucky actually. Last time might have to have a little interest on that. Mate.
Yeah, I'm just watching the video of Tomahawk's run coming third, and it's first to the pickup, showing an awful lot of pace down the back.
Yeah. It to be fair, Tommy does look like a stayer in the making.
Yeah,
he does. So.
He does.
It's
I think the boys have possibly been a bit harsh.
where he's going to turn really, but
yeah. Let's have a look at his other race. The Racing Post site with the videos is really good.
Oh, it's great on all the entertainment.
Absolutely brilliant.
Just waiting for Ark to catch up with them and do the same. That'd be
Yeah, it'd be lovely to have all the tracks on the one app if that's not too much to ask. Like IGB have been doing for the last 20 years.
yeah.
But it's a step in the right direction, you know. I like RPG TV. I think it is a real asset to the sport. I think the sport would be weak without it. You know, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now without RPG TV.
Yeah.
It would just help if they spoke out against some of the crap that goes on. That would help.
They're in a difficult position, aren't they?
Someone's just put on the chat, go wide, go wide. Be very careful of Droopy's Good Time. He's itching to have a fight. I must admit, that was the pace I thought he was showing, but I didn't know whether I could get him off the front here and he might just go.
Let's drag the 6 in. That's what we need. Anything to get him scrapping up front and just have the 6 high and wide. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm watching these videos. I fancy Bubbly Tomahawk.
Dear.
I think he's a real unnut. Yeah, he's been miles behind, absolutely miles behind, and he's there or thereabouts each time.
He's picking up bad dogs though that don't really stay though. And that's my problem with him.
Yeah.
And
he's not recording
he's not
terrible. 29.92. That's not a bad time.
It's not, but he's not flying though to the trip, is he? He's not like you won't look at him and
he's
go.
He's just keeping on, yeah.
He's just like plodding, horrible.
I must admit, Craig, I'm the same with you with his action.
Are you saying he's not chasey? He's just staying on at that pace as the others fade away.
He's just doing his own, just doing his one. I think you could run him round there till he's blue in the face, and he just carry on doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't come off. He's one of them dogs. He'd strike me that when you get him off the track, he wouldn't be blowing, and he'd be like,
yeah. Mm. I agree. That's what I just thought. Although someone's marking me card, and I did that. What in the back of my mind, I just watched his video, Droopy's Good Time, and I thought he went mad, but I didn't know whether he was just chasing his cocos off because I was trying to watch him after the line. But yeah, at least he has been over the trip. I think he can go quicker than what he showed, so that'll do for me. I'm going to be with 3 again. I keep preaching, don't bet short ones, but
I'm going to have a quick look at that
I think I'd rather bet 3 than 5.
Yeah, I wish
I've had a little place. I've had a little place on DT Slider as well at 15-8. So
20. I'm guessing it's 26th of December race that Go Wide's talking about.
I've just taken on the 3 and the 5 and me 6. Well, 6 and 1 are my best 2 winners. 6 is my best winner of the lot though. Just chuck him. Just think.
I've gone with you, Craig. bet all the others are double figures, and Slider it's 7.8 or something. So hopefully get the front two beat. So it's guaranteed to be 5-3 by half the track. But here ho.
Dear.
Oh Jesus!
Someone's just sweeping the moles away. Look, and
You need someone with a big mallet.
But someone put I think it was Lofty put there'll be an A14 dog at Milton Earl called Suffolk Downs called Savannah Mole.
Yeah.
yeah, got to be. Yeah,
See now for banter, now they should have had someone stood there with a mallet. They should have done it. They should just have had it, just a giant
Big
mallet.
novelty mallet.
Yeah.
yeah. They should.
See, then you can forgive him the hour delay. That's all forgiven. That's all.
Fetch a bit of comedy into it. Yeah.
Yeah, just need a bit of entertainment.
The best part is look at all that grass behind the track and everything as well. The little bastards you had to log on and dig up the hair rail. Yeah, anti-racing.
Yeah.
Blame it on the moles. Jesus.
I can see what everyone means about Droopy's good time watching the videos.
Page to burn on it.
He's got pace. He's got
It's
pace.
chasey. He's not. He's catching one dog at a time. He's getting alongside a dog, and then going right. I'm going to get alongside the next dog.
The camera angle there always makes me chuckle as well with the sheep in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've done the best to like stop that, haven't they? So that people can't see it. They put that thing up like the.
I think that's more to stop the weather getting across. That's to stop, make sure it doesn't freeze.
That's to stop the track not getting called off for being frozen.
I don't think it's a visual sheep screen. That'd be crazy.
No, it's not.
A great story though.
Yeah.
Right. This could be an interesting race.
So 6 is mainly is that it? You're on 5, Tom.
Yes.
Okay.
Bubbly.
Have a little bit on 3 just for comedy gold.
6 is done as usual. Drops
6 bender. Away I'm racing. Then 2 is the first to show from 6. Then comes 3, 1, 5 at the back of the pack. The old 6 dog DT Slider with a lot of them in front of him. It's 2 now. Towcester Luna with 3 drawing alongside. Droopy's good time. Full circuit to race. Droopy's good time now goes on. But looming up in the wing mirrors is Bubbly Tomahawk, who's trying to get past Towcester Luna and can't. Down the far side for the final time. Droopy's good time is on the rabbit here and has kicked right away. Some 5-6 lengths clear from Tiffield Firefly, has moved into second ahead of Bubbly Tomahawk as they turn for the judge. 3 will come home in supreme isolation. 5 has run on late there and 6 got third. DT Slider left it all too late there. Got outpaced.
I think the 5
Droopy's good time got the job done.
6 has run how he runs. That's how he runs at Monmouth every week as well.
Just in against better dogs, weren't he? With more speed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's happened at the South here? Let's have a look.
So I think the 2 was carrying the 5 off as well, wasn't it?
At the South, sorry.
I think the 2 carried the 5 off me.
I wonder if I was worried for the 3 that it might have hit the lead a bit too soon, but it stayed on pretty gamely there.
He's cracked on with it, hasn't
he? Yeah, he has, which is nice to see.
You would have thought 5 would have just gone sailing past 2, like when you have that bend, and then 2
was just no pace. The dog there wasn't.
Is 2 seeded as a railer then? Because how was that seeded as a railer? When we're on about the things, it's just.
I think he might have anchored there at the drop, didn't he?
Yeah, it just ran off all over the show.
Back on the rails again now.
That's how it had been knackered. I think the rails are keeping it stood up.
Let's get a real honest run from the 3 once that's got on the bunny.
Yeah.
Stephen Bradshaw. I think the bubbly dog wants 3 miles 4 furlongs at 4 flags.
Yeah.
He'd probably still run on for a close second then, though.
Yeah, Eddie Goodall, apologies. I didn't know you were on. No need to apologise, Eddie. Nice to have you here.
Better late than never, Ed.
Indeed. It's a much more relaxed vibe on a Sunday, isn't it, than the aggressive Romford Fridays.
Aggressive. What was that then?
It's quite nice having all the races a bit condensed, actually. It was going to be a long old slog, 4 hours, isn't it?
That's the problem with these afternoon meetings, isn't it? They're just proper drawn out. Like, oh, this is the sprint next, isn't it?
It is. This is my unofficial because it's a bit too short nap.
This Clara Montew gets some runs, isn't it?
Yeah, about 7 a week. It was a nice dog that when it ran Doncaster as well. Could run, could mount you. Real nice sort, but it was with Parker and then went up to Sunderland and then found itself with Vicky Lee. Poor thing.
Gets plenty of runs into the dogs.
Yeah, they won't be unfit, I know that.
Read the race this was. Sigma Group. Yep, and he's even in trap 6.
Oh, Falcon even money.
It's like finding it in the street. You could put your money in the bank, get 2% interest a year, or you could double it.
It's just one of them dogs.
Seconds.
I'm just not keen on. He's one of them dogs. I don't know what it is with him. He's just. I always want to be against him.
What, Kofi?
Falcon.
All right, yeah.
I always just want to be against him, and like the Derby final was the only probably time I wanted to be with him, just because he was drawn like God with Wild in 5, I think it was. And I don't know. He's just one of them dogs. He's like got good all round pace, hasn't he? Rather than doing anything like ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed. Just a track specialist, but he's the only dog that's improving through the competition. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Yeah,
the rest. Well, Otis is probably a little bit more unexposed than a couple of these, but they're not. You know, like Brent's fully exposed, and he's going to do his 29, 70, 60, and that's him. And Sky High's exposed. One's exposed. Yeah. Trying to talk myself into a bet.
Yeah, but you say if you're not normally betting them, you don't really want to be betting them at 4 to 5, do you, even money?
Not ideally, no. He, I don't know. He just obviously he's drawn, and he's really well drawn. Like, and he should lead Brent as well, unless Wallace gets a bingo from him. Like
he did last week. He got a bingo. He wasn't good enough, was he?
That's it. Just they're drawn the right way around this time as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to get this 6 beat, there is plenty of value up there to do it with. My reading of this race was Sherry Baby will turn left out of the boxes. Signet Goofy, although I obviously don't particularly, as I said, I don't really like a wide runner. In a sprint, isn't a wide runner; it's more of a middle. 16:07 on the card. I think it should be clear and gone. I guess the obvious danger probably trap 2.
1 for me, the danger.
Okay.
I'm just watching the Reds' last run against the 5. Yeah, when they're in 2 and 3. And what's happened there at the bend? That run from the 23rd of Jan. Well, last Sunday. 2 and 3. 3's buried the. Well,
put Big E's in, didn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's completely made a mess of the bend. Like, it's got pace, the dog, as well.
Yeah.
Completely different speed to the one like that Moon Dog. Well, I can discount both of them anyway. 13.94 at Romford. Fucking hell. Kick me cat round faster. Jesus Christ. Mount Jewson. Oh my God. So bad of a race, isn't it? It really is.
It's probably more by default the bottom, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. It
He
is.
can miss you up a bit, but when you've seen him over 4 bends, the rods for the corner, isn't he? You know?
Yeah.
Watch him not sprint there.
I'm not going to be backing at 1 to 2.
Give him 3 for more. Shrew Call, Dusty. Into the void. 3, 1, 2, 3. It's 2. Shrew Call.
I just watched Sherry Baby out of 5, and it wasn't diving for the rails. He just cut the bend once he got to the bend, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The goofy dog there, just completely different speed, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks it to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the race there with Into the Void and Shrew Call and all them,
Yeah.
like
Dusty, yeah.
he's actually gone with him as well. He's shown the pace of him. He's not
Yeah.
just like bingoed.
Yeah. His inclination as well is to come across, and that's when you start. If something goes smash and just gets in his way, and he looks like he's trying to get into almost lane 2
Yeah, he don't
on the
want to be
turn.
out
On the turn, you know. So if he's not clear, he might be in a world of pain. But I'll come back a bit 4 to 9.
There's just there's no sprinters here, is there?
No.
No, I think it was 8 to 11 or 4 to 6 earlier on. But even then, in the sprints, don't bet many sprinters that sort of price. Yeah. Well, don't bet many dogs at that sort of price.
157 bet fair, isn't it?
It's just not a 1 to 2 shot to pile into.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not with that mystery. What is the first bend as for
Yeah.
the wide runners as well?
Yeah, quite. Yeah, if something gets loose.
Being honest though, if you owned him, you'd be going to track today going, if he gets beat today, you'd be swinging,
you'd
wouldn't
be
you?
very, very disappointed. But that's dog racing, yeah. I might get distracted by a sheep.
No, it's all right now. The fence is there. It's all right. That's what it was built for.
What would you put in your TriCast?
Jesus. Probably the one. It just runs on a bit, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Just sort of one of them type of dogs. Really is a bad race, though. I wish I'd have took that damn Roby dog there today rather than taking him to Monmore last night. Found himself in with Mafia and that, and he could have been in this.
Where do you live, Tricky?
Preston.
Okay.
A million miles to everywhere.
Yeah. Largest football pitch in Association football, Preston North End.
Yeah, one of the best well kept as well, to be fair to him.
Yeah. The Wembley of the North, they used to call it.
It's been called some things, never that.
So 6 and 1. What are we putting in to complete our TriCast?
2.
2. Yeah. Okay. Gonna go for a combination. Lovely.
2's on Betfair Alice.
Lots of viewers, but quiet on the chat this afternoon. If anyone's got anything to say, we'll do our best to pop it up on screen.
Eddie's asking Tricky if he's done a Newcastle card yet.
No, I haven't yet. I was far too rough this morning. That was the plan. I was going to get up, do a bit of Towcester, and then make a start on Newcastle. But I've done absolutely nothing, to be honest. I'll probably be on it tonight. Gives me something to do.
Got the drink on a Newcastle card.
Both probably. Need something to get me through. Jesus. The more I look at this, I just don't see how this gets beat in a million years.
It was the Bunny the bookmaker's nap when Julie Collier was talking to him.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Like you say, the fact that if this was in like 3 years, you could have what you wanted on, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, somewhere. Honestly, if it comes away level, it'll just be gone, won't it? As simple as that.
Yeah, just have far too much speed from.
Bro's about miles bigger than the ball prices again. the Romford, they're usually half a point, but they're a couple of points bigger than most of these. Be nice if they're a couple of points bigger on the 6, but we can't have it all.
Yeah.
There's a big one next after this.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Why would you price the 2 length market here? Sky have got something up 2 lengths or more. Even money.
What, in this race here?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If it was a dog
Go
we
on,
fancied
listen.
in 1 or 2.
Sorry,
I
9 to
would.
4 it is. I just think if he's going to win, he'll probably just make a mess of these.
Just gonna shit out.
Yeah, I think he'll destroy them. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a fair comment, I suppose, yeah.
if he don't get across, that's the only way he gets chinned, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, we'll have a bit of that. Why not? When in Rome.
Matters more when there's money on it.
That's it.
I don't know who's going to beat him, but I've laid him.
Oh,
Only
get
for peanuts.
another one bites the dust. Brilliant. Well, I was going to back that, but I'm not anymore.
Why?
Account's gone. Buzzing. Okay, now. Brilliant. It's great, isn't it?
It's unreal how, like, we've been in a situation where you get the message that your account's closed before any of them have even run.
I've just tried to have a 90 for 40 and it's offered me £4. I'm like, all right, sound. £4.44. Brilliant. Thanks for coming. There we go.
Have you played, Tom?
We've had a TriCast 1-2-6 combination.
Giving it straight.
Here we go then. Sprint. Northamptonshire Sprint Trials takes off from racing and 3 has bombed out, but it's the early pace from the favourite Sign It Goofy that gets to the front and chops across the nose of Roseville Lola. But it is Sign It Goofy for John Mullins with a big lead and is winning by half the track.
Yeah, I think it's more than your 2 lengths. If only you'd got on.
1. Yeah.
It's like insult to injury, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I think one might have been second round and got his back legs took.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be in 1 though.
No.
So it got its legs took because it moved off. If it stayed on the rail, it would have got round and probably done the 4th second.
Straight off to Mullingar. Short price one to watch in the mud. God, he's sinking in. Look at that fella in his wellies.
Did you ever see the Doncaster one with there was someone that
What's
went
the
in?
cameraman doing? Sorry.
I think they went in ankle deep at Doncaster one day. It was like,
Really?
oh,
Do you know,
honestly,
I was going to talk to you about that. I always think I should contact Doncaster, and I think, oh no, don't make yourself busy, Peel. But I'm sure that sand there has probably got a high clay content, Craig.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
And then it obviously we've had periods where it's been frosty, so they put the salt in. And what I was told when I was the race manager at Crayford, that the reason you put salt into sand is it separates the particles, so therefore
Loosens it up.
you can work on it better. But obviously then when you put water in that, it just goes like a pudding. So
Yeah, that's what Donny is. It's just like whenever it rains, it's just a bit of a bog.
yeah, so it kind of makes it worse, but it just doesn't seem to drain. Whereas I think because of Lifford, I've done quite a lot of I've had quite a lot of dialogue with Josh at Swindon, and he's quite up on that. It's quite scientific what he does with I think one of the vets there as well, and they sort of put the sand under a microscope and all sorts. But he said that you need a clay content, but not too much. And I think at Towcester they always used to be watering all the time, especially in the Derby, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's because they actually haven't got a very high clay content, so they probably need a little bit of the clay
Inside it.
content in it. But I think Doncaster, I get the impression they've got too much.
Yeah, Sheffield's the same, Peel.
Right.
Sheffield's always when it rains, it's just flooded, isn't it? And I think they've got more clay than sand down there as well.
The good thing about Sheffield, though, it's sloped in it, so at least it drains off, whereas at Don, it's flat. So it just sits on top.
Is. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah. But I kind of thought, that especially with the new lad that's started from Godolphin, Mark. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
You kind of, but I don't know how you get rid of that, because I do remember I first started in management as assistant race manager at Rye House. That's when I first started, and I think again, you get all these what you call experts that recommend this and recommend that, and John McGee, he recommended some kind of sand. I think it was as I remember, it was Thanet sand, and that ended up having a really high clay content. And the fella actually used to go. You just couldn't compact it. It was just like a pudding. He used to go around. The like they put on the road when they flatten the tarmac.
Oh yeah,
big roller thing. You used to take that round. It'd sink in like that, and then you'd have to go. Obviously, you'd have to go right the way across the track to keep doing that, just to compact the track, because it was like a sponge. It was like basically putting it, just filled it with water.
I think the guy from Godolphin, he's. I think they're looking at Chipeta around there to put down as a possibility.
Yeah, they've done all that before, though, Paul. Apparently, someone else said that as well, because Lorraine, that was when she was a stipe. They did it at Barry O'Sullivan's. They ended up scrapping the whole lot. It just doesn't work.
No good.
It just doesn't work. It's no good for the actual. The gait of a greyhound is completely different to that of a horse, and it just doesn't work.
And everything.
It just doesn't work.
I don't understand how Josh didn't get that job. Like
Me neither.
Just it baffles you, doesn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
the decisions that they make.
I think he turned it down. I might be wrong. But
Say again.
I thought he turned it down, but I might be wrong.
No,
might
he
be
didn't.
completely wrong.
No, he definitely didn't. He couldn't believe he didn't get it himself, I don't think. But he's got such an enthusiasm, and the thing is as well. What I like about him is that he's speaking to the two lads that do Sandown Park and the Meadows in Australia, the two Melbourne tracks. Because I don't know if you ever watched that the way they prepare tracks, and a lot of it is scientific. And I think the fact that I think someone said earlier on that where they use the transponders and they put that in the jackets and they know what speed they're going and all that. It is almost like a science. It's just like a science. And I think anything you can do to give you kind of data and feedback to what's the best way to do it is brilliant. And that's why I kind of look at Doncaster sometimes. And I agree with you, Paul. I think Doncaster is one of the best tracks for configuration. And like you said, Craig, they don't have the bank bends, but you don't see too many dogs run off at
No, you don't.
Doncaster. And even though they are the long straights, a bit like Walthamstow, but Walthamstow had quite cambered bends. But that's the only one little negative, I think, is the actual sand surface that they've got.
I will say, though, they get very few injuries, probably, at Doncaster, from what I've seen, than when you go to something like Monmore that's, I was there last night, and it just seemed every race there was like a dog stopping.
Yeah.
And there's got to be something, for me, like, you'd want to know why that is. And there's so many people saying the track isn't safe. And
well, that's what you're saying about when they do this. Oh, we had this many injuries in a year, but they won't release the data for each track.
Yeah, at the end
surely,
of the day,
if you're the person preparing that track, you'd want to know what other people are doing or whatever.
100%.
They should have a seminar, where they all go and bounce off each other and discuss things they could do and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, every track's different, but like you say, sometimes you can just learn. Even what we do, you can pick something up and go, "Oh yeah, I can do that," and that.
Or use a bit of it, use that
exactly and adapt it. I think that's what Josh does. I think that's what he's got, because he's a young lad. He's got that capability to kind of get information, assimilate it, and use the bits that suit him, and then discard the things that won't work for me.
It's weird. I just always feel like with the GBGB that welfare stops soon as them dogs enter a track.
Yeah,
that's what really gets me with it. I just think they just everything's like, oh, welfare. As long as you're training or owning greyhounds, but when you take them to the track and the tracks have nothing to answer to. You know, you never see him with big fines for having terribly prepared tracks.
No. And that's the other thing in Australia. And again, I know I bang on about it, but I think exactly what we just said. I think you can learn so much. If they get high temperatures, which obviously they don't really worry about low temperatures there, they don't get freezing conditions. When they get high temperatures, they just say, right, we abandon. There's no meeting today.
Yeah.
So it's too hot for the dogs. But we would never go, oh, that's a frozen track and it's not. All right, we've got it ready, but it's going to be. You might as well rip half the card up. It'd be 1, 2, and 3 because the tracks are dry. They won't go. No, let's give it a miss because it's unfair. It's unfair to let those wild runners run on this track. They just carry on.
Yeah, and you almost got to keep notes, haven't you?
Yeah. But bookmakers don't really want 1, 2s, and 3. They don't really want to buy us tracks, but they're scared of losing them. They're just scared of. It's just the way that it's all. They lose sight that it's a gambling product in the first place, and then they want to stop people having a bet as much as they can, and it drives people away from the sport. They don't seem to want to promote it. I've said that a few times, and I don't know how you change it. You know, a man like obviously Paul Carpenter was supposed to be one of our guests. Unfortunately, his mother-in-law is not very well, but you know, he wanted to try and make a difference, and you just think, Jesus, you're banging your head against a brick wall, and it is really frustrating for the people, you know, the laymen that we are, the people that love the sport to bits. You just get so frustrated that nobody seems to see what you see,
and that's it. It's almost like the blind leading the blind at times.
Yeah,
you know, bringing in this 4-day rule and that, and you know, who's going to tell like Liam Dowling he can't run a dog back-to-back nights if he wants to?
Yeah,
he's not some like graded trainer who's got no idea, you know. They just, something with them just.
It's like we said on Friday night, that 3-day, 4-day rule, and then all of a sudden when the derby's on and there's a dead heat, the 3-day, 4-day rule can go out the window for that week because they'll have a run off to see who gets through.
Yeah.
Well, you rather have it or you don't have it. You know,
that was the first thing I said, Paul. I put that. I actually tweeted that as well about that. It's just, I mean, and then all it is, you're kind of bending the rule to suit you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, why tie yourself in knots in the first place? Just police the sport better. Speak to a trainer, speak to a race manager. If that's what he wants to do, then you've got to control that. You can't just let it happen to the detriment of the sport. But don't keep tying yourself up in rules.
When you talk to people on Twitter and stuff like that, and they message each other and that, and people only do 1 track or do 2 tracks, they'll tell you what the lame dogs are on that card. So if they can spot them, why can't the owner, trainer, racing manager, you know what I mean? And they let them run and run and run. And then you find out it's owner trained normally. So they run them for the 30, 40, 50 quid. But it's not right, is it? Like you said, you're going about welfare, but they're happy to have a dog run round that's not fit.
Yeah. See, for me, this is where I think like run money is a detriment. I'd always be a big campaigner for like, I'd be paying the first 3 home or first 4 home. And you just stop them like any lame dogs and they go, rather than finishing 6 for like 16 weeks on the trot, they just turn around and go,
Yeah, then it encourages you to actually take part in a race to get the prize money. I get that. And that's, again, you know, I'll go back to it. And actually, Mark Bartlett's, he's messaged in and said it's greed, PL. We're so far behind Australian racing that in many aspects as well. And that's another aspect in that they pay the first 3. They've got 8 dog racing, they pay the first 3. And that is it.
You've got to train the dog, haven't you, then?
They're all, exactly. This is where, because of the style of our racing, it's bang, 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 numbers. Whereas over there, it's promoting a spectacle. Whereas we just want to go through the motions. And you know, you're right. It's okay. And the GBGB have done a great job with welfare. They have. But as I said to Paul Carpenter, when he rang me, actually, when we were in Lifford, and I just said to him, there's more to that now. You need to take it to the next level. You need to drive the sport forward. And as much as, I mean, I had a conversation with Mark Moisley. There's a lot of criticism of him, and I spoke to him, and it still was the same. He's in the background all the time. You need to be pushing it. It needs to be up front. It's no good working in the background because now it's social media. It's out there in the mainstream. That is what sells. We wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't for Twitter. You know, and the amount of people that say, oh, it's great what you do. It's a bit, everyone criticised Racing Post TV because it is a bit samey, basically for bookmakers, and people are starting to see past that. But I don't think the GBGB want to see past that.
There's markets for like everything, isn't there? Like you say, people will just watch Racing Post TV and they're happy doing that and what have you. But I think the sport's the same as well. Like, there's people who they're not bothered about watching lame. They don't know what they're watching and stuff. But if you turn around and put a lame dog on Twitter and said, people think you're just being negative or you're having a dig at them, and so you're trying to like help, and you don't want to see the dogs go wrong, and no one, anyone in the sport for the right reasons doesn't want to see a dog hobbling round week after week. But you seem to be like having a go at them, and it's just daft.
There was a thing I flagged up yesterday, wasn't it? Someone trying to sell a bitch through that ground trader thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Last run at Doncaster, it went from supposed to be a stare, and they said it needs further than 450. So someone said, well, why don't you run it over the 480 or the 483 then? And then the dog led over 450 and fell out the back of the telly.
Oh, it's lame as a crow.
Was saying like it's just not. Was it Luna something?
Yeah, Luna Jet.
And it was saying like the dog's obviously not right off its last run. It's on there for sale for 500 quid.
Yeah. Right, let's pick this up after the race. Big final time.
Yeah, and just remind me as well, Tom, because I've had a text from a good friend of mine who used to own dogs with Mark McLaughlin. So we'll pick up on that. But you're right. Let's big this up. So are we seeing any opposition to Thorn Falcon here between the lot of us?
It's hard to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being honest.
Yeah.
I think the free can clear the inside. That's the only sort of thing. But I don't know how Falcon doesn't turn, worst case, second dog.
Our charity bet, the first leg of it, is this race. We've got Thorn Falcon, then a bit later we've got Antigua Lava. In the stairs race, 11-4 double. Yeah. Hopefully win a bit of money for Sheffield RGT. We're due a win on the charity bet.
Let's hope so then.
I think the only way Falcon gets beat is if 2 or 3 take an absolute flyer, isn't it? And
yeah. He's been taken on evens with Bresbet now. Similar price on the exchange.
And Dave said they do best odds guarantee on the charity bet as well, Tom.
Very kind of them.
Very kind of them. Yeah, I mean, it looks like someone, well, they're probably out to get Falcon, a few people, yeah.
He can get beaten, but he's the most obvious in this race, and at even money, I think, does actually represent quite good value.
Yeah.
It's 13-10, the exchange now, like.
Yeah.
Just that's too big. Like, I mean, even when I priced it and I was looking to get him beat, I'm like even money to like 117% or something.
The Falcon takes a flyer and leads.
Six
has to be second, doesn't it? Forecast about 11-2, something like that.
Yeah, 3 gets taken off the skin.
Yeah, I've got him Thorn Falcon at 5-1, so let's hope he obliges.
Good luck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And away and racing. And 3 the first to show from 5 Thorn Falcon into the turn, Sign It Otis, and Thorn Falcon go next, head to head. And out the second, but trouble there. One's got knocked over, and also the 6 at the back of the pack. And Sign It Otis goes on from 2 now. Ivy Hill Sky High is drawing alongside. Then comes Thorn Falcon trying to make a bit of ground in behind, but just clipping heels. So turn for the judge. It's 3 being pressed by 2, 5 running on up towards the line. It's Ivy Hill Sky High that's nabbed it. In a photo from
Could see them all finish.
Trouble again.
Horrible to watch.
Oh, dear.
He put up Dylan on Twitter that he's never seen so much trouble in this month.
With open, yeah.
With not that much open racing on.
But that's just
no one had that.
Say, is it?
Barring that race, the only dog you'd say didn't have its draw was 4, wouldn't you? 4 wouldn't have been here, so you can't really go up on the draw on that one, can you? To say there's just the way the race was run, I think.
Oh dear.
Just hope the 2 that went over are okay.
They were there at the end, so I think so.
Horrible, messy.
It wasn't nice, that was it?
How far ahead is your Feed tricky. Have you got CCTV at the track or something?
Well, funny story. I'm actually at Towcester.
Yeah, I'm way behind you, I think.
Yeah, I just had it on Betfair. I was watching it on there, and
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Sky does
Yeah,
add a few seconds.
Betfair are in front of RPG TV as well, aren't
Yeah.
Yeah.
they? Well, there's
A lot of
double on
Toaster
2 at 10
hate.
there, so got
There's
some
a lot
out
of
of it.
Toaster hate.
I can kind of understand it.
Yeah.
As much as the place is great to go and have a beer and
Yeah.
socialise, it's
Yeah, Harry just texted me. Not a Greyhound track of any description.
So Harry Finley. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's rubbish. It's a rubbish circuit. It's always been rubbish. They've improved it, but it's still rubbish.
The really disappointing thing is about it is that they had the blank canvas to do it, didn't they? And they do it
That was the worst of it, yeah. And they said they modelled it on Sandown Park. I've never... what a joke that was.
If only they had someone who was, instead of his brother doing it, I think.
Paul, Lorraine was there. She was a stipendiary steward, and she was there because she just overseed it all. And she kept coming back to me. She said, "I don't know about this configuration of this track. She just don't know."
Yeah.
But what can she do? It's she's
there
to make sure that they're.
It goes down to having people in charge in a GBGB who have no idea about track configuration or making decisions or whatever, and telling people
Bends
how
are
to do it.
awful. They're just awful.
As you say,
if I had a dog running around, I'd close my eyes.
Why wouldn't you build something like White City again? Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. It's just the opportunity to do it from a blank canvas, isn't it? Like you said, if you can do it, you think of the space they've got.
Yeah.
They could have done
they can change this. This is a thing that they can do. They can change this, and they can make this the premier Greyhound track in this country in every respect. They just need to do it.
the problem is though now it's probably to the point where it cost him God knows how much money to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
then you've got to admit you're wrong as well. You've got to be
You spend the money at Oxford, spend the money at the other place.
That's it. I think it'd be the best thing they could ever do. Even if you have to take a break from racing for 6 months or 12 months or whatever, and just really get the place right. But
you could do it in a couple of weeks. Couple of fellas with some laser dozers, and you'd be away.
Just
I work in construction. It's amazing how quick you can do stuff like
that. It'd be good though, like if they could get it anything like a proper Greyhound track. It's a shame.
There does seem to be like you say, there does seem to be a lot of trouble today, and you just never really see a dog. I mean, like even there, Thorn Falcon, he's just ducking in behind dogs.
Where's he going to go? There's nowhere for him to go.
Just don't seem to be able to pass dogs. It's
going wide, he's going to lose 2-3 lengths. His only option there, and he's being clever, is to run and try and get a gap. Yeah. And that's why I think he's a good Toaster dog, because he understands how to run it. It's just such a unique set of challenges at Toaster for a dog, and this is probably why it's bookmakers' favourite.
Don't seem to have many fans of it on the chat.
No, people are. Some of these I can't really put up, but I don't disagree with them.
Let's have a look. Every single person, any idea? Oh God.
Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? That's the thing. It's disappointing.
Lovely sunset though.
Say again?
Lovely sunset.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great place to go to, Craig. It is a great place to go to. I do like going there, and I've loved calling there. It was great, but
the main part's not the right part, right? Is it?
No, there's something not right about it. But whether you'll get but mind you, had good dogs there, didn't you? And got 2 bowled over. But saying whether you get better dogs if you're in the Derby, it'll be okay. I thought it was okay-ish last year. It was okay-ish. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was okay-ish. I don't think it was any worse than the Nottingham Derby.
No.
The only issue with last year's Derby was no one wanted trap one, did it, in the end?
No.
Yeah.
But I did.
That doesn't seem, since they changed the traps now, that doesn't seem as bad.
No.
I was always one of them with it though. I was like, I'd sooner be on the inside. It's worth a length anyway. Even if you're missing missing it off. It's worth a length being inside dogs and being in the right trap and not having to cut.
If you can roar up to the corner, yeah, because like you said, you might like roar up the corner and run off.
Yeah.
But that's not a great look, is it?
No.
No.
Disappointing that was. It was a spectacle as well.
It more disappointing as a spectacle than anything else. I think you want to see the good dogs running well and winning and having every chance.
Yeah, you want to see the best dog win the race, don't you? And come off it. And, whereas then you've watched it, just everything's running up the back of each other, and it's a mess.
And you don't want to watch two dogs just having horrible falls and then spending the rest of the race thinking, "Oh God, I hope they're all right."
Yeah,
and that's it's like even if you own the dog as well, like I mean, I'm sure they're buzzing now, but looking back on it and you're watching it back and you sort of you don't get the enjoyment from watching the race and winning it clean.
Nobody wants to see dogs get knocked over the park.
Of course they don't. Absolutely no one.
The Andes, and then that suits them. But you know what I mean. Nobody wants to see dogs getting knocked over and banged about like that.
No.
It happens too much though, Paul. That's the thing.
Ah, exactly. Yeah. But like I said before that race, most of them dogs had the right box up today as well. I think the only dog that would have been preferring to be drawn inside would have been 4. That would have been one close. You go by your ideal boxing. I don't think many would have changed what trap they had.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because of the draw or anything, was it? Before some race, you look at it and you think, God, how are these going to get rammed? Because as we know, there's wides drawn inside the middle, and then.
But that's what I mean. It looked like it was going to go around 3-5, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, tangle, and I don't know. Maybe it's just they can't hold their feet. I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know what the problem. I really don't know what the problem is. But I know Kevin would say there isn't a problem, but I'm not convinced.
How long do you take to turn a blind eye to it? That's a problem, isn't it? Like you're saying.
For about 18 months now, I think.
Yeah.
He's done a good job so far.
Yeah.
It's like you said though. You go on Twitter and people you think you're being constructive. It's like when dogs were hanging themselves in the traps, and you had people come back on saying nothing wrong with the traps.
Yeah.
How can you're a trainer? How can you say there's nothing wrong with them traps?
Yeah. And then they cable tied some perspex to the front of them as if that was going to look any better.
Great for COVID though. Just a joke. But like when them 2 dogs nearly got beheaded, like I mean, I'm not being funny. For him to come out and be like, it's not a major issue. Yeah. Like, do me a favour.
The problem was that, and everyone saw it before it happened anyway, is the traps the lids weren't going up quick enough. They weren't.
No. Yeah. And the bars were that wide, the dogs were having their legs out the front of the bars now as well.
Yeah. That's horrible to watch.
And that's they're, as you say, Craig, they're basics, aren't they? That's the basics.
That's people think, right. Everyone's just moaning for the sake of moaning. No, it's just do it right.
Yeah, we're moaning because we care.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it is. But the people who don't say anything just tend not to give 2 hoots,
Yeah.
But,
Question from Stephen Potter for you, PL. Your fantastic bit, struggled if memory serves. Was that Roxanne Magic?
Yeah.
Struggled if memory serves around the last Towcester track. Do you think she would fare any different round here? She was unbeatable elsewhere, same Royal runs there.
Yeah. And the worst of it was that she ran in two TV trophies and they were both at Towcester, which normally it spins from here to there to everywhere and changes. But that in her period, she just didn't like Towcester. I mean, she did in the second TV trophy. She had a massive long layoff, and she actually did win. She did win a heat, and then she didn't run very well in the final. There were a couple of reasons for that, but she basically she didn't like Towcester. But I mean, she's one of those where, in my eyes, and I think a couple of people said to me literally the other day, I was talking about it, and they said she was probably the best thing since Skirlow Champ. And I actually did say, I thought you could probably put I Am's a Royale into that category because she's a bitch that I want to watch. I think Roxanne Magic was probably the best we've seen in a long time for excitement and for drawing crowds. And again, you kind of think, well, all right, you owned her, so you would say that. But I do think that even as a Greyhound purist, but I do think that actually I Am Royale is the same. So that's what we need. So you could put, those 3 dogs you could put literally in the same category. I don't think you see that type of greyhound too many times, and most people would always go, yeah, but the good old days. But like we're saying, now we live in new, different times with social media. You need to push these stars. You need to push them because you want to get the new breed of people coming along, and so many of the old school are getting pushed away. You need to big up, and that's what I'm saying. You don't really see too much from the GBGB, particularly, do you?
Well,
Whereas when you look on the Australian sites, they big it up all the time. Some of the promos they put together are fantastic. They just get you. Do you know what I mean? They get you.
So what's that Moisley's job then? Isn't he to do with promotion and stuff?
That's what I mean.
No, I'm not being thinking.
It's true.
Because, like you said, he's a year ago, about the last time he put a tweet up, I think, about anything, saying the traps, the clocks, big news on the clocks or whatever, and nothing's ever happened. But it's like you said, if I Am Royale somewhere, the GBGB should be promoting that to get people to the track or whatever.
Yeah. They shouldn't even be giving away free tickets and trying to get people in and saying this is what you're about to witness.
Yeah. But something that the Australians do, Craig, is what they do is they'll say, enter into this prize draw, and you can win 10% of I Am Royale's prize money throughout her, say, TV trophy quest or something like that. So, of course, now there's so many people now watching. They watch, or they say draw for the 6 finalists, and you can have a share in the prize, or something similar to that. So you're getting people that not really 100% into greyhound racing, but even if you get that percentage, that then go, oh, this is good, and then now you've got your new breed of owner.
Quite similar to what they do with the Conan and Kirby. With the schools and stuff like that, where they go, here's your allotted dog on the final night, or this is your club.
That's it.
Yeah, all the hurling clubs got a dog and everything done, or all the way.
Young people getting in, watching it, and they've got a dog to cheer on. And
exactly.
Well, I don't know what his job is, because like you said, if he's marketing, he does no marketing. When he has he brought anything into the sport at all?
Well, in the background, he says he's working in the background with tracks like Yarmouth and things like that. So I'm not saying it's difficult, because I think if you're a marketing manager, you need to be, your name needs to be in the frame, surely.
Do you know what the thing is, though? If you've got a marketing man, someone who's paid to bring in money to the sport, why are they not paid on a commission basis?
Yeah.
Why is he getting a salary? It's just daft. Doesn't encourage him to work.
No.
Few comments on the chat. Colm got an alternative view. Look back at the race as track 1 moved off halfway around the bend, clipped trap 3's heels. Don't think that's the track's fault. Moving on from our Russian bot we had on the last broadcast, we've got this young lady saying, say my name. I wish I could, but I wouldn't know where to start.
No, I'm busy for that.
Yeah.
No, can do.
And we have, hello, Rachel Preston, new to greyhound racing. Why are so many dogs finding trouble at Towcester? Any answers, please?
Yeah, I think Bellevue Dog summed it up. It's just the configuration of the track.
Yeah.
And Towcester spelt correctly as well by Bellevue Dog as well.
Yeah.
Phonetically.
Yes.
My wife's American, Nigel. Her
pronunciation
is
another
Towcester,
Craig, wasn't it? That another really a bit. That's kind of a Doncaster style, wasn't it? Bellevue, really.
What, Scott? You must have had a Jesus. No one going to attempt that name, though.
Do you have a Bet365 account?
That is just, that's a dog man, isn't it? You just know.
Proper dog man.
Yeah, that's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. That'll get message of the day, that one.
Another one here, Lee Fairburn. Agree 100% your Towcester views, but never heard anyone actually say what's needed to change for the better. Is it the bend surface camber that's causing the problem?
I've got a solution. Nuke the place and start again.
That's not going to happen, though, is it? That's the unfortunate bit. It's not going to happen. So they've already changed it once, and
It's not worked.
it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem to work
Just,
for whatever reason. And again, I always get really excited during the derby because of the good dogs going around there. I want to be involved. I try my best, and I always look for big prices rather than short prices, as I mentioned earlier on. But
dogs are going in here. Miss Big
tricky.
Pants, I think, is the favourite.
One I put up earlier is me up 3-1.
Yeah, I followed Cushion here. I have.
Yeah, nicked it off coach, to be fair, yeah.
I followed him in.
If it wins, I'll set the glory, and if it gets beat, I'll blame coach.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
I won't be messaging me again if he doesn't. If this doesn't go in, that'll be it.
Right, it's all down to Coosh then.
Yeah, but
Spoil our day.
To be fair to coach, he's probably picked it because he's known a few Miss Big Pants in his term.
oh, some of his stories. They're beyond X-rated. They're XYZ rated.
Just
The
come away.
TRC events and leisure.
9-4 on the boards.
Drifting back out now.
5-2.
They're all locked and loaded. Try not to give too much away, Craig. Air approaches. Race away. 3's the first to show from 6. 4 trying to pace up between rivals into the turn. Bargy, but Savannah Express just about leads now on the outside. Miss Big Pants goes on. Miss Big Pants down the far side for John Mullins. 2 lengths clear.
And left, where are you going?
Behind these comes Savannah Express round the last 2 turns.
Go on, a punch.
It's all coming on
Go
top.
on.
Go on, a
First 5
keep
on again. Miss Big Pants. Miss Big Pants does it for Kooshy Koosh. Beautiful. Now,
Enjoyed that.
that's what everyone watches this program for, just to listen to Koosh's tips.
Absolutely.
Tremendous.
What he's not there. Hey, young man, what he's not there.
Very good.
I think it was in a few
Good
heart
note to
attacks
win.
there.
Just a few. Jesus. I thought it was done out of the cans.
I
To be
can
honest.
afford to give
Yeah.
Mrs. P.O. a housekeeping this month. That's
Never in doubt.
she said that'd be a first, by the way. She's coming in
think
with
he's
a
had a
cup of tea
wait
and
up
no
on
beer.
At this stage, if PL Saturday I'm not commentating, he'd be saying, go on 3 and 4, give each other a cuddle.
Yeah. And off the final spin. About that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. 5's done very well to act
Wade
as a
in it,
bit
wade
of a
can't.
gatekeeper around the third when he
I
looked
think
like
it's
he was
just
gonna
doing
get
enough,
caught.
me.
Yeah.
Looks like it's just hanging about almost.
Yeah, just nodding like
Saving a bit for himself.
yeah. Well handicapped.
Wade
Like a
in.
Prescott horse.
Oi, oi, Koosh, all aboard. A lot of Koosh love
Can I
in the
ask?
stream.
Yeah, I tell you what, you get no for no glory on this show for putting it up. The can I ask? Would anyone hold that sign if Jim Tate come up here and said all this stuff? Christ Almighty, you know what I mean? Come Toaster. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Come Toaster sounds like a very specialist internet search, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
There he is.
Oh Jesus.
To be fair, that Ivy Hill Sky High has been a decent competition dog.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
For
Deserve one, I think.
Yeah, for a greyhound, you think was probably just lacking that sort of derby quality, I suppose. But it's I suppose it's down to be fair, it's down to Mark Wallace, and he seems to get them right on the day. But
Did say 2 or 3 in that race with it. Just had a little play on it at 10 on Betfair.
Do you reckon that hashtag will take on? Come Toaster.
Then what?
say again.
Do you reckon we can get that to take off and trend?
Yeah.
Well, it's good for Koosh. He's going to have to treat himself with a brass and a kebab. Top man.
What a man.
No other way to celebrate, is there?
On God's Day as well.
Koosh better hope there's no God, because he's in a very bad place for this.
What, Manchester?
Oh, yeah, to be fair, yeah, he's lived in Manchester for a long time, so nothing. Hell can't compare to Manchester.
It's very nice these days, Manchester. I spend a lot of time there at the moment.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Mention the Russian judge we had on Friday. Any news on the Ukraine front from the Russian judge? All quiet from the Russian judge this week. I assume he's been drafted.
When me and David B tried to do one of these, we had we had some Ugandan fella join us and just started shouting like I'm going. Yeah.
Didn't you? Because you were the forebearer of this. You did the original sort of one of these, but didn't you just do it as a Zoom call?
Oh, yeah,
That anyone could join.
pretty much. And they did as well. We got interaction. Uganda has never been more famous for dog racing now.
Yeah.
Bit like The Voice with the wall of people all looking in.
Oh, it was worse than that. They were just shouting.
Worse than
It was going absolutely nuts. We've had to end it, go back, and then they've rejoined on to the next link. They killed us off. Tremendous.
We could just share the link for this in the chat and just see who turns up. But dangerous game, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be great fun though.
You know, have you ever been on chat roulette? It's you basically click and you have someone else's webcam, and then someone random in the world appears and you have a chat, and about 1 in 3 is just masturbating men.
What's the website called again?
Whatever turns you on, Tom.
That would be chat roulette. It's
You
a
look at
good drink. It's a good
some of these
drinking
comments
game
are
if
just
you've got a
brilliant.
strong stomach.
Oh,
Just press and
dear.
skip until you get to a bird.
Yeah, which is very rare. Just a bloke with it tucked between his legs.
Oh, what a sight! Can we have a link?
I could actually stream chat roulette to this, but it's probably not the vibe we're going for, is it?
Ben Green's been on bad look of it.
He's on it as well, isn't he? Once he's winning some already. That's your Monday afternoon sorted.
He watches some strange, tough stuff, Tom. You know, you have to be careful.
It's just the internet.
Interweb. It's the interweb.
The chat has just absolutely descended.
Oh, it's Ben, isn't it? Who's on? Yeah, I know it is now. Realise it is now.
Had words of advice from our sponsor that we will heed. Thank you.
Tell you, dog.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Superb.
He's just had to.
I think
Just
I
had
should
a go.
respond as well.
Just curious. Just been called a horror film, man.
Oh, oh.
No wonder I drink. It's been brilliant.
Oh, I'm gonna go and get a drink.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. Oh. Oh, that is tremendous.
Just when you get the first person you want to speak to on there as well.
Oh, God.
People logging on to chat roulette, it will now exclusively be masturbating men and dog lads.
Exchanging tips in the 658 at Romford.
What the fuck? Tom has an initial on his chair. Just a coincidence. It's called a Titan. It's a gaming chair. I don't do gaming. I'm far too old for that, but seemed right.
Oh, Jesus. That has done me in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Comment. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, let's talk racing, shall we? Because we've got
you-
a lovely
To be
sprint
fair, Tom,
coming up.
you brought it up.
I did.
Oh,
Shrew call for me. Done it well
Yeah.
last week. I'll stick with Shrew call.
Yeah, I'm with you on Shrew Cool. What about you, Tricky? Well, it's Grinder. No, it's chat roulette we're talking about, not Grinder. That's a very different experience on there.
What? How do you know?
Everyone knows about that.
Oh, Jesus. I think the lead dog's a different dog in red, to be honest, but it is just a match, innit?
It's all about the break. I'm running out of cans. Bloody hell. How many races is there go? It's what happens when you got the kennels and you end up eating last night's Indian for your dinner and don't get a chance to go to the shops.
I can't stop thinking about this comment. I don't know why that's tickled me so much.
Mr. Haverton struggling with his caps lock.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, we've not lost many viewers as a result of that, so that's fine. I went on a rant on Friday night about how much I hate soup, and we lost 25% of our viewers as a result of it. Never really recovered the rest of the evening, which, given the form what he was in towards the end, was no bad thing.
Well, I got a compliment on my commentary.
Yeah, even Ian Fortune messaged to compliment you on it.
But then everyone else was probably pissed who was watching mine, so that was a bonus.
Yeah.
You'd hope, anyhow.
Shrew Call 11-4. That is a nice price.
I'm
2-1 on the boards.
I like red here, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a better dog drawn red, and I think he would have got round last week if he'd have been in the red as well. He's only missed getting the bend by probably a yard or so, hasn't he?
1587 on the card.
Beat True Call, isn't he? Like you say, they beat each other, haven't they?
Yeah, I just think he's better when he gets the red box, like. Oh, God.
Come on, let's get it together, Tricky. Let's get our head back in the game.
It's finished me off, that has. It really has.
Yeah, the messages from Howard now and then seem the same on Twitter.
Oh, I just wonder how long he's been sat there clicking to try and get to these two as well, and then to just get the dirty old man like.
Yeah, to go finally.
Been there 5 hours.
Finally got to the good stuff.
He's had 5 hours of it, and then all of a sudden he's just knackered off.
Shot down immediately.
Do you know, Tom, as well? Like, I really like the dog at Romford, Into the Void. I think he's quite a decent early pace type.
Yeah,
It's a good race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good race. But you might, yeah. As you say, they all met, but there's not a lot between them, really, is there?
No, it's a break. It's all on a break, isn't it? I think they're good dogs out. If they lead, they don't normally get caught to the show. Working out what you think will lead, I suppose. Yeah. But he's been a great dog, Shrew Call, hasn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Northamptonshire Sprint Trial Stakes again. Good race. This one top heat race. Way and racing, and Sad Acres Lee has bombed out the boxes and leads into the turn with Early Night up on the outside for company. They just rubbed shoulders there, and Early Night has gone on. Early Night for Mark Wallace kicks into a 2-length lead up towards the line. Stripes wins it. Early Night, emphatic, good win that from Sad Acres Lee, and Deadly Tornado back in third.
He had some when he was running Henlow. He showed massive early over the 460s around Henlow, but to be dropped in with them dogs, I suppose. When you first look at it, if you'd have been in Goofy's heat, you'd have been on for a few quid, couldn't you?
He's beat them on merit, though, hasn't he, really?
Oh,
He has,
he's,
yeah.
very,
Yeah.
he's the best you've seen a wide dog run the first bend.
Yeah.
Even Goofy, like you say, he was clear and didn't run it as well as that. And so say he's got his dog up his inside, drove the bend and ran the bend really, really well.
No, that was impressive.
Very impressive.
It was impressive.
And it's a good field he's beat, isn't it?
Well, Shrewd Cole and the One, they're probably two of the best sprinters in the country, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
reckon.
Yeah, maybe two of the top
Fantastic.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightly raced early night.
I say he's got
Three runs in Dundalk. That's it.
some flying sectionals around Henlow.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How many have we got left? 4 more races? 4 more races.
Better go and get a can.
There we go.
I'll get 2, so we going backwards and forwards.
That's the spirit.
I can't remember. What was this called in Ireland, this Savannah dog? This king? No, those days are gone. Found it.
So I look at the form. Prices aren't properly up yet for some reason. That's what we have. 14 Rebels, nice dog.
Very nice dog, yeah, to be fair. They've done well to get that back from the injury side, haven't they?
Yeah. I'm in a WhatsApp group with a few dog lads, including Watty. And once during lockdown, we were sharing the stats from our phones for the number of steps we'd taken in a day. You're meant to do 10,000 a day, which is very difficult. Most people do 1,000 or 2,000. Watty declared that he'd done 39 steps in a day. That was 2 toilet trips and a trip to the fridge.
It's true. I'm doing lots of steps now, though, because I do the kennels today and walk with the dog, so it's all changed now.
I'll do more than that in my sleep, I think.
And I have to go back I'm back working at work, so I do plenty of steps now.
Yeah.
Never used to, obviously, when I was working from home. Look at it, 12, I think, was my record.
12.
I've done 4,000 today.
It's impressive, that.
Didn't do many yesterday, man, to be fair.
We got any opinion here?
Just trying to look now, to be honest. Not a lot of pace in this race, is there?
No.
He's a good story. Foreign Rebel, isn't he, coming back from a bad injury?
Brilliant story,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were just saying.
Like I say, Inky Oldham had the same injury when we retired him. But, like I say, it's rare for him to come back from a stopper injury like that and be running at this level and then getting to that final and then winning last week.
I think I like Form Rebel here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't like an awful lot else in the race, looking at it as a standout.
The One could turn handy enough, though, because the 2 and the 3 have got nothing about them early.
We said earlier on about I said I'd had a text from Mark McLaughlin, my pal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Roxhome dogs, Magic and Dream and Hottie and dogs like that. And he said that it's strange that no one really knows how much money the tracks receive for the meetings that they get sent abroad. And all that seems to be a bit sort of cloak and dagger stuff, doesn't it? In that we say, why do they have 14 races? Why are dogs running every 3 or 4 days? But because obviously they must have a decent wage paid from SIS stroke ARC or whatever.
Mhm.
But no one really knows how much they actually get for doing it. They must be getting fortunes because
There's
the fact they want
12,
14
1,200
races.
1,200 quid a race.
There was rumours that Monmore was the highest grossing track and was getting 25 grand a meeting, but I don't know if that's true. But then I suppose if these conglomerates are getting the money, how much of that they then pass on to the
Exactly.
tracks is the real question, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So they're getting, they're obviously, I mean, when I seem to remember when I was at Crayford, I think it was, they got about £500 a race, but that was obviously, 1990s. So it's probably a lot more now. But
The figure I got quoted was like off tracks, or someone mentioned to me, was 1,200 quid a race. So it depends, I suppose, what track you're at, isn't it? As well, they might get more of you. Like
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you would think a minimum would be a grand race. So no wonder they want to have extra races all the time.
Exactly. That's the thing. But
Yes,
I don't think that's necessarily a positive thing.
Which cost him a few quid this week, hasn't it? Mr. Booth, they cancel meetings and stuff. Then.
Yeah.
So how the prices we're seeing on the screen on RPG TV, where are they coming from?
From SIS, who were basically employing their own traders and using Betfair and just trimming them slightly.
So it doesn't bear resemblance anymore to what's happening on the track. I remember being at Romford a few years ago and there was a guy who's phoning in the prices.
Yeah, that's what used to happen. They used to take the average.
Graham used to do it when we were there, PL, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he would, but the good thing about Graham was, like you say, he was a punter as well, and he would, and if the first two favourites went in on the horses, you guarantee the first favourite at Romford would be shorter. So, because Ladbrokes would say, bet it. So if none of you fancied it, that was one of the bonuses, because you could go and bet something else at a decent price. And that's how they used to play.
Or
a good few years ago, wasn't
or
it?
if he knew that you wanted to back a certain dog that he was told to back, he'd say, "Look, I'll be betting this." So you could go in and take the price.
Yeah.
It's helping him anyway because it's going to shorten up the dog they want to shorten up. But obviously, you don't just stand there and go, "Oh, I wanted to back that," and now the Ladbrokes man stepped in. Do you know what I mean? So to be fair,
so are SAS just
guy,
looking at the Betfair prices, or are they looking at the money that's coming in across the various betting shops that they support and trimming things as such, or is there just not the volumes of money to do it?
The way I saw it, Tom, was that what those SIS prices do as well, obviously because I think they have some kind of input into the prices that the likes of Flutter employ as well, I think. So what happens is when they then get, and Craig will probably might know more than me, but when they then get backed, they will hold back obviously being a silly price on a show. So they will take into consideration the early money for dogs that have been backed throughout the day. And that's why sometimes I think they're slow to knock a dog out if it does drift on Betfair.
And I think as well, what you've got to look at though is these markets are so easy to bend.
Yeah.
Like, you go and have a score with Paddy's.
Yeah.
Say if you're on a marked account to win 50, you can move the price one sweep. You can move every dog in the race, manipulate the market completely as long as no one balls it up.
Yeah.
They could be starting from completely the wrong market.
That's the thing they don't understand is that you don't, just because you fancy your dog doesn't mean you're going to bet your dog at the price they put up. So like you say, you bet something else just to push the prices, and when it's ridiculous that you go on and you say, I mean, I went on Corals today, bet a dog 50 quid 2-1. You can have £21.75 on. You know what I mean? It's one of the biggest firms going, and you're just thinking. I mean, the dog won't even money. It turned out, but it's either there. But they'll shorten the dog up. But that might have been the dog. If I was going to, I mean, what we used to do is we'd go on and have a score on something, and then someone would go on 365, one of the lads would go on the others, and the prices would all drop for a dog you're not even betting, just to hope. Then we used to do it just to hope that the dog we had was going to hold its price.
Well, that's how ridiculous it's got. Paul. That's the thing. It's just...
Until Betfair opened up. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I did with Paddy's. Like, I was going into the Paddy shops asking for 300 a dog that I couldn't fancy for love nor money, and they were cutting from 9-2 to 7-4 and stuff, and then drifting the rest in the race. And you're like, no, I'll just go and have me one of that I can get on.
Yeah.
Stupid. I've had this discussion with my bosses like about these prices, and I've had the discussions with SIS, and it's like talking to a brick wall. To be honest, they don't really grasp it.
They don't get it, do they? That's it.
No.
It's weird, but they don't get it.
They just think,
it's not bookmaking, is it?
No. They're like accountants more than bookmakers.
And it's like always like this theory of like Betfair's always right. You know, I know probably like 50 people who make a living betting on Betfair. So how can Betfair always be right?
Yeah.
Well, they're only betting. I mean, they might know about dogs or whatever, but they don't know about all dogs, do they? That's the thing, you know. They wouldn't know about our dogs when they were running. That's for sure.
Selections here, guys.
I'm with the 6.
Yeah, I'm with the 6.
Yeah, I think I'd go 6 as well. Just
unfortunately, I am as well. So
Full out.
watch the one romping.
Well, I've had Phil back to beat me as well because obviously he's a strong running sort as well. So that's why I played it.
There's a few strong runners in this race, isn't there?
Yeah, it's
Bang Wallop is here.
I think he might go around handier than what he would
I think he can
normally
lead.
do.
I think he can near enough lead here, to be honest.
Air approaches 500 metres the journey and away and racing. And 4 steps out lively. Glattangiani will lead into the turn ahead of Crash Bang Wallop. Up on the outside, then comes Form Rebel trying to make a bit of ground. In behind these, then comes Nearly Lager Time. Down the far side and 4. Glattangiani is in a bit of a hurry here for Richard Devonish. Has a 3-4 length lead. Form Rebel comes from out of the pack now to start to chase him down as they turn off the last bend. 4 still with a length and a half lead. Here comes the stripes of 6 near the line. Form Rebels are going to lay it down late but won't get there. Glattangiani held on. Richard
It's
Devonish.
just a gaff
the
track. You
Raider.
cannot pass on the bends. You just
Horrible,
can't pass.
He has run 5.75. That Glattangiani, like, to be fair.
No, I
Strong dog,
think Form Rebel stuttered. He's just stuttered at the start a little bit. Kind of his legs went from underneath him somewhat, but
He's lost his momentum.
and then he
off the
picked
fourth
up.
bend.
That was one at the start. To be fair, it was one at the start.
Yeah.
When you're watching the races there, though, how many wide dogs loom up at that third bend and you think, oh, this is one, and then just don't pass them?
Yeah,
It's amazing how many dogs on that running, like, they look like the legs have fell off, and the next thing they just pull into the line.
yeah.
And it's not like it's a short running either, is it? It's a it's a relatively long running. It's like the Munmore one. Do you know where they nick it from round the bend and they run a better line than the wide dog? And just here you can't pass. It's just a horrible kip of a place, to be honest. It really is. Like
It is weird. That's it. Like you said, it doesn't look like Mullingar's third bend, but it runs like Mullingar's third bend.
it's just a tough play. I mean, to pass a dog there, like you've got to have like a proper IQ on you.
Got a small nick out there.
At least it wasn't the worst forecast PL.
No, it wasn't the best either.
Right. Here we go. Let's have a look, see if we can get lava chinned.
Good array of clothing at Mullingar. No, he's not. He's sunk in a bit on the inside.
Yeah.
Very dark there.
Got a lovely fountain though. Just like Towcester's got a nice sunset, Mullingar's got a lovely fountain.
That's all you need.
Henlow's got the pond.
But that's not a pond, is it? That's the overflow for the toilets, isn't it?
Ogs, they're building a pond. Do you remember that dog that jumped the barrier and ended up in the pond?
Yeah, that was absolutely. It's great. It was I think I've got the video somewhere on that. It's just absolutely amazing when it ran back across the track.
Yeah.
The only thing annoying about that, the only thing annoying about that is I was on a 16 on the dog that was in front at the time. I was not impressed.
No.
But we had a dog do that at Nottingham. You know the pond. This pond round the last 2 bends at Nottingham.
Yeah.
He was in the 6 bend race. What was he called, right? Swift. He was a Swift dog, and he was a bit of a. He was one of them. He was an head scratching dog. He'd come from Hove, I think, and the owner was. He was a lovely fella, and you just the rain was trying to do the best to try and win. We put him in a maiden 6 bend comp round there, and he broke okay, Went to the first bend, just sitting in behind me. He stayed. Thought, oh, good, just turn Andy, and all of a sudden he just jumped the inside running rail at over the 680, the sprint side, far side. He jumped in. He ran alongside following the dogs on the inside. All of a sudden he went down.
What in the pond?
Didn't see him. I think didn't know where he got. And it was, like when you're looking at him, you think, "Fuck me, that's a long time." Where is he? Because you knew the pond was there. You're thinking, "Oh my God, he's drowned." And then the next thing, he must have swum, come out the other end, and then jump back on the track again. And by that time, I'd run down. I was thinking, I've got to go and try and find this dog in the pond. I was literally. I think I must have broke my own personal track record from going from the home straight back.
Darren had to do it with one of these
boxes.
Darren had to do it with one of these pups at Henlow. Jumped in the
pond. Went in the pond. He had to get out, covered in shit.
The funny thing is, we stopped at the services on the motorway to give him an empty, and I think I wanted to bat a dog in a later race. There was a betting shop there in the services, so I went in the services, and there was no one in there, and the woman started chatting to me, blah blah blah. I said, "Did you see a race earlier on?" I said, "Where the dog jumped in the middle." She went, "Yeah." She said, "I said, that's him out there." She couldn't believe it that she'd seen it. Really weird.
That's great.
And he wasn't allowed to go in because they had a runoff. He wasn't allowed to go in the runoff because he'd left the course. So he had to retrial. We didn't call him Lucky. That weren't his kennel name. I know that much. He was one of them. But he was a frustrating dog to run, wasn't he? Really, really, really tough to win with.
But like to swim.
Yeah, good swimmer, yeah.
So 5:28 race next, due off at 5:32. So we've got 12 minutes. Might as well have a look at it now. We're told off by our viewers every week for not talking about the racing early enough, and it's legitimate. So let's have a look. Can anyone get Antigua Lava beat?
Yes. Get with the times. 4's going to move straight across as well, so she doesn't break. And the 5's absolutely devoid as well. I remember it from Doncaster. Running some of them British bred. Yeah, some of them British bred things. And I think the 6 will lead wide, and I think it'll win here, to be honest.
It's running well 6.
He ran at Nottingham, didn't he? The 5. He ran 6 bends at Nottingham, I seem to remember.
Yeah, it wants further, I think.
Yeah, they get it with the Charms 4-1's a fair price for that. Took off last week, didn't it?
He ran well. Yeah, he's run well last 2 ups. He ran well at Monmore. Come from off the pace. Or the trip was probably a little bit short for me. I think actually probably this big gallop will suit him or her. Sorry.
Yeah, she's decent. Like.
Yeah.
And I just think the Freeze badly drawn as well.
Sales. I think she was bought at the Towcester sales that Nathan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
James did. Yeah.
I think they were first one, weren't they? I think Julie was there. They were doing a spot on it, and I remember it.
That's it, yeah. I remember actually when David Elcock used to train when I was at Rye House. He was one of those where it was really funny because when I was at Rye House, I loved Rye House because I used to go there anyway as a punter and as a kennel hand. And that's how I got to know about the assistant race manager's job. And I got there, but it used to be Henlow and Rye House, and Henlow was an inside hare there as well in those days. And it was always like there was a bit of sort of rivalry between the 2 tracks, you know. So I suppose because I was in the management part of Rye House, you saw Henlow as the enemy, and some of the trainers used to flip between Henlow and Rye House, sort of thing. You know, I used to mark the dogs up and all that. And David Elcock was one of those who used to every now and again get the ump with Henlow and then come and grade his dogs on at Rye House, you know. The racer that used to work for the Gaskins, you know.
There's someone on there said he's made out to jump in the river at Rye House to get the dog out.
Say that again.
Just go wide. Just come on saying he's made out to jump in the river at Rye House to get the dog out.
Ah, jeez.
Is there a river nearby?
Yeah, there is, right alongside the back of the stands. Yeah. And that again, that's another one where those sort of backwater tracks where there's any water near that, it is like 5 degrees colder than it. When it gets cold, it's just really cold.
Yeah.
Rye House was one of those. The racing office was like a port cabin. He used to freeze their cobblers off.
I only went once, and that was to back a Peter Rich bitch when we used to do the track championship. I think she was called Dalcash Melody, absolute flying machine. And we went there and bet there when she won half the track in that one of them go. The only time I ever went was a Sunday night. And we went up. The only time I went, it was she won by about 8 lengths, I think. But the layer bet and everything, wasn't there? The bugs up there and everything like that.
Where is Rye House?
Hertfordshire.
Okay.
Is that the one that there's been talks of coming back?
But they always talk about it coming back. There used to be a speedway track around there as well. The Rye House Rockets used to, and there's like a sort of gypsy camp next to it, and they used to have speedway and dogs. But,
I think a lot of tracks that had Cleveland Park used to
Hoddesdon,
be
yeah. Hoddesdon.
When Cleveland Park was on and they had the dog meetings, the speedway used to get crowds 4 or 5 times bigger than the dogs. The speedway kept the dogs going really.
Yeah.
Okay, quite a big following. But
popular sport. Yeah,
I'm guessing that's why he's at Oxford, isn't he? He's they're looking forward to having a speedway back there, aren't they? But they'll get big crowds for the speedway.
It's basically just dogs on bikes, isn't it? Really?
Well, but normally it's like Towcester. Normally like Towcester, whatever leads at the first bend wins, isn't it?
That's it. Just literally like watching Crayford, isn't it?
A lot of it was. Yeah, when I was 16, 17, I used to go to. I lived in Boston, in Lincolnshire, and I used to go Boston Barracudas every Sunday evening. It was about 6 o'clock start. I used to love it.
Not a lot to do in Boston. That's probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of pubs in Boston.
Did you ever meet Tina PL at Boston then?
No.
No, right.
No.
Apparently, she used to be tasted, didn't she, Tina?
Tina went. I couldn't believe Tina was a real person.
I said to Tom last week. I said to Tom after we'd finished last week, a week last Friday. I said you should have read out that email from Tina, and you'd have brought the house. He said you should have said that. Yeah, Jesus, that's all you ever get on there, isn't it? Tina, track 3, Tina. Jesus Christ.
H has a bit of a thing for Will Scambler, the Bellevue dog, whatever you want to call him. Like he likes a bit of Tina, younger Tina. When she posted some of them pictures, he wasn't seen for a couple of days afterwards.
I don't think they were her, though, were they? That's the thing.
No, that's the thing. They never are. No.
Yeah.
Are they not? Oh, that's a shame.
She put a picture up once of a Greyhound at home or something like that. And it was our bloody dog. She picked it off our Twitter thread.
Every credit.
Unreal. Well,
yeah, when she rocked up on the show and was a real person, my mind was blown.
You would just assume she's a bot, wouldn't you?
I thought it was JK bored at home.
That was always a standing joke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God. Antigua Lava's gone for a walk here, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 5, Betfairish now.
I've bet the bottom of 4s.
Yeah, same. I'm with you.
Just hope it breaks like it did last week, and then let the red and the blue hold up the white.
If anything, we want the 4 to ping. Get the 4 ping and cutting across.
Yeah.
We can stop Lava then. I think.
Yeah.
Well,
this would have been the second half of the charity bet if Thorn Falcon had obliged.
I mean, it's the second half of the charity bet. It's just the first one didn't win.
Yeah, pretty much. But still, £50 Sheffield RGT. That plus the last few weeks on our fundraiser, there should be a decent lump of money going to them soon.
And all big pants. Go to charity bet on big pants, Tom.
Of course.
Kushnu.
Yeah.
Toaster by the bollocks.
Gonna have a go at posting the stream on Facebook as well next week. I can do it to 3, so I've been doing it to YouTube, which has the most people, Twitter, which gets the occasional, and Twitch, which is really for teenagers and averages about 2 viewers. So it is, yeah. it was always going to be a difficult sell. So I think I'm going to switch the Twitch over to Facebook next week. There's some big Facebook groups for Greyhounds, and I think a lot of the particularly older Greyhound fans aren't necessarily Twitter users, whereas a lot of them will be on Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter's just for arguments, isn't it? That's all that is.
Yeah.
You'll have a huge problem next Friday, Tom. The mighty Reds are going to Old Trafford live on TV.
No commitment.
We'll beat them as well.
It's Romford FA Cup final. I'm wearing a suit next Friday.
Borough have sold 9,500 tickets. So Manchester will be red but proper Reds. And we'll beat them as well. I'm hoping it'll be a good price.
Tom, you're going to go for one of the white suits like the old Liverpool...
Oh, that would be superb, wouldn't it?
Get that in. Get
The
involved
Spice
with that.
Boys.
The Spice
Boys,
yeah.
That'll be some viewing.
Okay.
Who's in the final?
I think it's... Who's it? Jack Thingy and Man About Dog.
Jack what's his name?
Jack, what's his name? Jack Bingham, that's it.
Oh, yeah, he's the lad who has shares in the Ryan dog, isn't he? Broadstone Ryan.
Yeah, it's a nice dog.
And Tom, Dave just texted. He said that there's £150 in the HOD, he believes, for the Sheffield
From
Reserve Grand
Breastbet,
Trust
yeah,
from
yeah.
Breastbet.
I think he's
I
right.
think we've raised, is it 405?
Is it up to that?
Surely Kush's tip deserves a bit of a tinkle into the pot.
Absolutely.
I thought we'd had a 400 to 100.
Well, we would if we'd known.
Yeah.
Kush would have done.
What if we'd known Kush was a good judge?
Slander.
He put a few up at Romford on Friday, but Romford's been very, very difficult the last few weeks. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who would have been winning at Romford the last few meetings, if we're anything to go by.
Well, I did win last Friday.
Did you?
Yeah.
You were ahead.
Did, yeah.
Put a couple of good ones up PL on Friday.
Yeah.
You should have been sober, Tom. You might have found out.
I had the Trixie.
I was too busy worrying about what you were going to say
Trixie.
next.
If it's any consolation, I can't remember anything to correct on. So at the top here, if it takes a flyer, 65 on Betfair.
Big price. Very big price.
Around well, one of them 750s on Romford. I know
She's getting bigger now, get with the times.
legs have fell off now.
I just think there's a way this... I think we can get this chinned. I do.
Well, do you agree with you on Betfair, don't you? It's on the drift, isn't it? And like you say, it's like that. I mean, it seems a clever bitch and it'll come inside outside, but if it gets the chance of it getting murdered at the first corner is pretty strong here, I reckon.
Just want 6 away and gone.
Yeah. Repeated last week's break at Central Park, I'll do.
That's the one.
The 7-1-2 open. Hot favourite is Antigua Lava. Are we going for it? Oh no. Get with the times for David Elcock. Trap 6. Good luck with your bets here anyway.
Get round in a pause. Do your job too. Play goalkeeper.
And they're away and racing, and 4 Savannah Scrappy is the first to break the tapes and chops across the field and goes on from the red Lemming Fly. Then up on the outside making ground now is Get With The Times, and this trio are clear of the field. So full circuit the race now, and 4 Savannah Scrappy on the steal. Is a length and a half clear from Lemming Flies in second, wide on the track. Get With The Times in behind these comes Alana Pet, then Antigua Lava down the far side. The 4 is extending the advantage, gone about 4 lengths clear into the 5th turn. Get With The Times in second, in behind is Antigua Lava, the favourite, trying to pick up now as they turn for the judge. Savannah Scrappy has a 3-length lead from Antigua Lava up towards the line. Antigua Lava's got to get up in the shadow of the post. 3 beats 4, 6 back in third.
That is a...
That was some performance from where it's
good
been.
effort.
And because especially with the dogs, the 2 big dangers against it. Well,
That's a bitch that knows where the line is.
She's gone clear at the drop as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
But she's going to be taking some beating over a marathon trip.
Scintillating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Do you think it goes for the golden jacket?
No,
I won't.
there'll be too many dogs falling on the legs around there, the 8th, 7th bend or whatever.
I just think as well, like golden jacket with her, and I just think it's too short.
Yeah, it wants to be, like you said, even that's too short for her, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You'd fancy, she's a TV trophy bitch, isn't she? Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
Especially, well, I'm going to say on a different track, like I said.
She's going to burst today.
That's been a real clean run race, that. But she's, like you said, what she does as well, she go inside and outside, wants you to pick where she wants to go. Done really well.
Can't hear who said they don't come from behind. Not sure if that's a reference to lava or what we were discussing earlier.
Knows where the line is, as if it's quickened up, knowing where the line is as well.
Yep.
Get with the times, just the one pace, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the lead in that race.
Yeah.
We were in trouble as soon as 4 took a flyer.
To be fair, 4 hadn't run bad either.
No, trying to go.
That's run a great race.
Yeah.
He'd win plenty around there, won't he? If he breaks like that, you're not going to off. It's not always going to get a run like that if you run against it, even that bitch. But I think marathon-wise, I think she could be the new marathon star. Because she's getting on a bit now with IM's a Royal. I know they won a TV trophy and that, but tell you what, she's a danger to her. If she does run the TV trophy, I would imagine she would.
The thing is, as well, she'll lead Royale as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, she will. Yeah, they've raced a load, haven't they? And she's always led it.
Yeah.
And she's always led the booby bitch as well.
Volcano.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
She ran really well there. They're the sort of races you want to watch when you've got something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the type of bitch if you're in over the 712, it's the type of bitch folks think they can get beat. And it's a type, like obviously we did as well for that reason.
Yeah.
But, it's just like I say, the way she runs inside, outside and everything like that. So clever. Fair play, got that wrong.
If you're watching on YouTube, very much appreciate if you could hit the subscribe button, please. Trying to get up to 200 subscribers.
How many you got now up now, Tom?
160-ish.
Keep going.
Keep pulling.
Like, share, and subscribe.
If you're watching on Twitter or Twitch, YouTube is definitely the best way to watch it. So you can join in with the chat and see some of the things that people are saying that we can't read out. Which is almost more entertaining than the show itself.
Someone said when we were talking about Rye House, they sort of provincial tracks. They loved Milton Keynes, and I must admit I went to Milton Keynes on a couple of occasions round the roundabouts. When we used to go Milton Keynes, me and Ray used to go a different way every time. Never knew which way we were going.
The only time I went to Milton Keynes is I was getting a midnight coach to London, and it used to stop there for some reason.
So it's our local IKEA, Milton Keynes.
Never managed to make the dog track, I must admit.
Because Milton Keynes is where the SIS studios are, so I used to go all the time. But yeah, the Milton Keynes dog track was it a 440 trip, wasn't it? A standard 4 bend.
You've got
Gary Wilshire might have stood there as a bookmaker.
Well, Gary Wilshire standing when he was reading about him standing at Oxford was the end of sort of bookmaker standing when they were trying to ask him to shorten dogs up, weren't they? Apparently, and he wouldn't shorten them up, and then the next thing he wasn't standing there, and that sort of I think is the end of what they want, or the beginning of when they just want everything to themselves. Yeah,
some Bellevue dog said Nick Sabatrain. I think he was attached there, wasn't he? In the old days, he sort of qualified some of his pups there in the early stage, and then he probably, when that closed, he went to Henlow. I think a lot of the Westmead pups used to, before they went open racing, have a little tickle in the old graded races.
Or a fan TV said it was 440. Said his dad's dog, Just Right Joe, won the Summer Cup there, which was a big
right, yeah. No, we used to go to Milton Keynes every now and again when we were open racing.
Gaskins,
the good old days
as well.
Jesus. Next race is something.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the prices to finish up to post it
Coming
up.
up through.
Non-runner in one. No pennies Oxo. Oxo doesn't
Yeah, that would
go.
have been short price favourite, that wouldn't it?
I don't know what to make of this. Yeah, the red would have been very, very short.
Yeah, I can. I've got absolutely no opinion on it. Impossible race for me.
I actually think here that the Savannah dog will be better in the 4. It looked like he was trying to push off a little bit last time from red. I'll try and watch.
I think 4 will be favourite.
Moderate
nothing else
trial
in the
innit, at Romford.
Very, very poor. Yeah.
On the original prices, 2 and 4 were both 4 to 1.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, this dog will be better. Moving off from 2 there, be better in the middle. This.
Yeah, it's a bad run for trial. That 4.0 sectional 2509.
But that might just maybe you missed a break then completely. Eh?
Yeah, or just didn't like the track. That was trial. That was a trial on the 26th of Jan. So what was that trialing for?
Golden Sprint coming up.
Maybe. Yeah, it's a few weeks away though, isn't it?
You probably want to give it another.
Yeah, it is actually. You're right. It is quite a way away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month it is. Yeah.
Having a trial just because it has to have a trial now. Are they going to check it there for a maiden on a Friday night?
Yeah.
Got no choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it, Lottie.
Yeah.
Well, it's just 16, 17. Look at the race. Might be good. Well, it's won the race. It might be good enough to win this, might. It's a weak race. Very weak race.
It is a very weak race.
The Blues never even had a sprint, has it, at Towcester or anywhere?
The sprints are kept for them Monday or Tuesday, I know when they have 7.
Yeah, it's never even like had a trial in a sprint either. 29.88. What pace like?
Mistake on the card. It's shown as a 500-meter race.
Yeah, it's Jesus. Have the 3 ever been round either?
Yes,
does,
it has.
does,
Yeah, 14th November.
They tried it in a 7:12, and now they're running it in a sprint. Like
It's the magic of Towcester.
It seems to be a thing there where every dog has set will go over 7:12 before they realise they don't stay 500.
Yeah. Oh God. Just don't even.
Do they not have 7:12 graded races?
It's not a bad dog, the 2. Yeah, our Towcester have taken. Sorry, Brosepet have taken an interesting view on it.
I say for me, if 4, I think if 4 does what it's done in it when it's won, if it comes away from 4, they're probably good enough to win this race.
I bet the 4.
Yeah, I would agree. It's won in D2. No, D1. Has it won a D1? No, it hasn't. It's won D2s. A couple of 16, 17s on there.
Shows it's just not the best of races though.
Yeah.
When you're looking at like A3 dogs that are not leading up in A3s to.
I bet in the blue, if you believe the price is like 15 to 8 and 11 to 8, I don't know what price is on Betfair. 7 to 4 to 4.
Yeah, 2.6 and 3.1. Blues favourite.
Yeah, I think at them odds I can go without having a bet, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like I was saying now as well, it's like, I know it's in 4, but it's like being in 3 with no 1 dog, isn't it? So not that far off the fence.
I wouldn't have minded one of the 7 graded staying races they had on the other night instead of this race.
It was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is scratching the barrel, isn't it? Really, this
Yeah.
for an open sprint. You
It's like
fancy any
it's like
decent
what we were
dog.
saying earlier. If you weren't getting any travel money or run money, would you be entering your dog in this sprint?
Yeah.
And that's where the thing is now. Is that people tend to think, oh well, there's a maiden on, and I'm checking these two. I may as well take that and stick it in a maiden because I'm going to get 15 quid for it turning up and 50 quid for it running.
But one of the things I will say is that this is obviously a trial stakes for the competition that's coming up, which will be oversubscribed because of the prize money, because it's a Cat 1.
And the winners of this get in, don't they?
And to be fair to Towcester, they do give good prize money.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
But
you can't
this,
or anything, no.
This is obviously probably about the weakest division.
Yeah.
But it gives them a chance to say, well, you had a go, and you got beat by so and so and so and so, and so it then gives them the chance to say, well, that's why we haven't accepted you. Do you get what I mean? Rather than,
I didn't realise
we did this trial and we're good enough. But anyone can do a flashy trial of the solo.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, I would argue, though, the winner of these get in, don't they, as well? If you win a trial stake, you're in.
Not necessarily, but what I'm saying is when they're oversubscribed, Craig, then they've got a chance to say, well, hang on, you know, Midfield Duke beat you,
and you were 30 foot slower.
Savannah Stowe beat you, and so that's why I've left you out.
If you came down though for one of these trial stakes and you won it and you didn't get in, you'd be a bit like.
That's the other thing.
Because you look at these, I'm not being funny.
You could easily win a weak race like this, and you go, "Well, I won a trial stakes." Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
they're not sprinters. So I don't understand why this is a race.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Just like being thrown together on it to fill the card.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, one of the things you should do then possibly is if you win a trial stakes, you're in. You should definitely be in front of something that hasn't trialled around there.
Yeah,
that's what's really annoying when you see, like people say they've got a dog. It's like that Tom Stedman, that Mr. Rowe at Monmouth the other week.
Yeah,
never got in the race, and that dog's won 5 out of 6 or something. You took the bother taking it for a trial, and then you don't get in, and your dog's away. You think, well, if you want to have a match bet, I'll bet you, and I'll beat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's the annoying thing when a big trainer, and I don't know whether they say, well, I've entered 4, and they want them 4 dogs on because they're proper dogs, and then they want to bring these 2 because the owners want them to run, and they're getting in front of you, and you've got a dog that's better than them. And that happens too much for me.
Always will though, won't it? Because end of the day, if they say, well, we're not coming with 2 dogs, it's like, well, they go, well, yeah,
It's wrong, though, isn't it?
Yeah, completely, yeah.
But that's sort of going to get took out the way now, isn't it? Because the way they're doing it, where you have to go and have a trial. So I suppose they have to take them up. You would, and a lot of the time you say, well, the owner, it's going to cost you 50 quid to go up there to trial it or whatever. They might think, oh well, it's not that. Yeah, I'll give that a knock on the head and go and run in there for.
Yeah, this ain't much of a race, is it?
It's bad.
Yeah. I mean, the dogs, they're people's pride and joy. It's not talking them down. It's just a really weird race with not particularly quick 4-bent dogs running a sprint.
Has anyone played yet?
Yeah, I've put 4.
Yeah.
You bit 4?
Get the bend. Oh, you coward.
You're miles ahead.
Miles ahead, yeah.
Off
and racing, and 2 is the first to show from 4 and 3. Then comes 6, 5 was Sleepy, and it is Midfield Duke. Will drop upon the inside and go on just from Savannah Stowe up towards the line. Midfield Duke is powering away. Midfield Duke will beat Savannah Stowe with Senegal Pixie back in 3rd. Vicky Lee, smash! Used the draw to advantage there, really. I think that's all it was.
I thought I was going to clear it, but the only thing I could check.
Watching that race, just been kind of braking, using the inside line and turning left rather than using speed. But if you reverse the draw, I think it's a different result, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it is.
Well, if you watch that race, the one thing you check out the race is how the hell does Savannah Stowe get drawn trap 1 so regular?
It's a joke. I watched it from the 2 and it moved off.
Well, look where it is on the running.
Yeah, well, the last one it had, it knocked the 3 over because it doesn't want the red. But again, that's just down to racing managers don't know what they're watching.
Yeah. Well, you're watching that, and just the first time watching a dog run by and watching it on a video. And on the video, I thought, well, it's moved off out the red. But you watch that, you'd think you'd never want that dog in trap one, would you?
Well, that's
No,
the other
it's
thing
winning.
is that Romford have got a terrible, terrible habit of if a dog's in 1 or 2 put in Raoul's comment, a dog in 3 and 4 put in the
Yes.
middle comment, and a dog in 5 and 6 put in a wide comment.
Yeah.
And yet Savannah Stowe's probably banged it or missed its break, moved into the middle of the track, and they put Raoul's.
Yeah.
Now, it's a bit naughty because I haven't seen it, but even so, it wouldn't be a bad guess, would it?
No. Well, I had 2 dogs on Romford with Gemma Evans, and yeah, just a farce. They had Greg's Wagon, who was bang middle all his career at Doncaster, moving off from Red and just put in Rails.
Yeah,
It's like, do me a favour, watch what you're doing.
exactly. Yeah.
You get dogs hurt, you know what I mean?
And as you said earlier on, that's their job. Just do your job. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not asking like anything out of the ordinary. Just literally watch the racing and
Yeah. The problem is as well, though, you don't want your dog moving off and injuring another dog, do you?
No.
exactly.
And if you've got a big lump of a dog as well, that'll go at the bend and just run off. You take half the field out. And like you said about welfare, where's the welfare in it?
Yeah.
Does it go on about it? And everyone agrees you should have welfare, and you should have the homing scheme, brilliant, all that stuff. But it just seems like Craig said, you walk through the door and the welfare goes out the window.
I had it on Bellevue with a dog, and I've sent a racing manager an email, and I've put arrows on the video to show him which way the dog's running. Caused absolute hell, he did. Honestly, the dog was in 5 every week and just moving in like a lunatic.
Yeah.
I've had to send him a video with arrows, big red arrows, pointing to the way the dog was running.
I'm sure that went down well.
Oh, it went out like a lead balloon. No response.
Oh, you got barred off, didn't you? Did you get barred off eventually?
Yeah, I got barred off here.
You did?
That was fun. That.
As a result of that?
It was a combination of things. It's because I turned around and said the guy needs a slap, and he said, "Oh, it's abusive and threatening behaviour."
Got to be careful with that.
He did though. To be fair, he should have just been dead from racing office. Horrible man.
Where was this?
Bellevue.
All right.
Which again is how could they not make Bellevue pay?
Ah,
Yeah.
I know Craig would say a lot more about that, but how the hell could they not make Bellevue pay in the area it was in?
whenever I went there, it was mobbed.
Yeah, it was class.
Mobbed.
Really was a shame. Such a shame. But
Well, they had the Banks meetings as well, didn't they? So that must have
Yeah.
covered X's and all that. And then
Yeah.
you've got your Saturday night meeting or Friday night meeting with all the crowds and everything.
We used to go there. Well, I went to Scurry 2 years running with a really nice dog I had called Brogan T-Bone. And he won it the second
Yeah, I
time.
remember it.
He won it the second time.
was Seamus one of
Really
that?
nice dog.
Huh?
Was it the dog with Seamus?
No, he was. We bought him originally, and David Bonnie's trained him for us. Was as a group of us, 8 or 9 lads, for a Friday night Romford dog, and then obviously I had my dogs with Mark and Haley, and I think he came third in when we took him with David, and then Mark was trying to prepare him for. No, he hurt himself. We was at Sittingbourne. He hurt himself. He got pushed out wide. His foot went down the hair rail. Hurt himself bad. I'll never forget it. Went into the vet's room afterwards. I was roaring my eyes out. I just thought, my dog's hurt. I thought that was him, finished. But they saved him, and he long road back, and then got him to the Scurry, and he won the Scurry for us, and took him to Sheffield. He broke the sprint clock at Sheffield, and still holds the sprint clock at Sheffield. And then I think Mark and Haley got to the Trainers Championship. When they had the Trainers Championship, and that was at Central Park. He'd hurt himself at Central Park, and then we put him in a trial. He went quicker than Target Harris in the trial, but he hurt himself, and that was him finished then. But we found him a really good home. Really good home.
Yeah, he's a good dog. Him.
Yeah, he was a nice dog. Yeah, really.
Can we
really nice dog? Yeah.
Can we have a quick chat about this race? Because there's one I fancy here, but I want to get your thoughts before I commit myself.
So the red last time it was in 4. So the racing manager, I know it didn't bang out and go and sort of stayed middle-ish, but the racing manager obviously thought that it's a middle runner, but allowed to go on in an open.
Yeah.
A railer. That's just,
I think it is a railer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is a railer.
See how it traps out of trap 1 compared to how it did out of trap 4. They might be open that to see there's a rail and get 3 or 2, but I don't think there's 1-to-1 personally.
Yeah, I think it's a middle. I think it's like a 2.5 dog, 3 dog.
Yeah.
It's gone the rails down the back, to be fair, and then moved off a bit. I think, yeah.
It's been trying to get to the rails from the moment it's left the traps. It's just been smart enough to carry on straight on, but it looks like it'd be a lot more comfortable on the rail.
Too slow away.
I've got 1 and 3 the other way round on the prices personally, albeit from very limited evidence because there's only been a very small number of runs that can call on. But from what I've seen on the videos, I think 1 should be favourite. It's got ferocious early. I think it'll appreciate being on the rail.
The one I bet in that graded race in an A4, and there was another one they had the same night. It was like A5 or 6 or something. Like,
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad out of 1, but it's the start, I suppose, from the switch to.
I don't think it needs to start. It kicks into pace after sort of 2 or 3 paces, and I don't think the 2's going to head straight for the rails. So I don't think it has to kick, but we'll see.
Yeah, 2's not really got a lot of early.
A Brisbane 5-1, the 1 dog.
3-1.
Oh, 3-1. Oh, okay.
it's the 6th one last week. It's like pick the start on it. Pace. Back.
Yeah, I think just because it's switched to 1, I'm never a fan of dogs out of trap 1 there, and they don't run regularly out of trap 1, so I think they might find it hard to get a break.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best of breakers either, is it?
Didn't last time, but it did shoot rod the bend.
Yeah, have a quick look at the video of 1 in its last race.
That's what I've done,
yeah. It's with it, like you said, he doesn't have many dogs in A4s, Pat Janssen, does he? So
no, he had a dog in A6 though. Crazy.
Because the 3, I think, has led and got picked up in its last race.
Is that Bang Rail? So
Kulavaniani. Yeah.
I was trying to watch that now, see if it's Bang Rail. Could be a bit of trouble inside here. I'm tempted to have a little small play on the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Picked the start last time.
Mm.
It is rails, yeah, the 3, but it looks paceless though, to be fair. Showing a bit into it.
Yeah, it's shown a bit. It's got very, very 3's got very, very lucky in the last race that the dogs are parted at the right time to give it a gap through. Go wide. It's going from 4 into 1. That's the main concern. Yeah, I think that's a concern of all of us as well.
I'm gonna back the 6 here for absolute.
It's a big price.
Yeah, it's massive.
I'm gonna have a bullseye on the 1.
1592 runs a decent enough trial, but the rest of its form,
terrible,
like
really.
and all that isn't great, is it? It's only young, like I say, June 26. I don't know. I think I might just keep my Miss Big Pants winnings in my pocket and give it a miss.
But it's the lucky last. You can't be lucky if you don't bet.
That was just a lucky last. So you've got Central Park and Henlow to come, yeah.
And then you've got the Mexican dogs, Caliente or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we've got the double on. You've got the double on the Super Bowl and anytime touchdown scorers. Kelsey and Hilaire. I paid just about 11-4, so nearly 4-1. I think it was 3-1, 4-1.
Yeah, I've done Kelsey. Anytime.
Yeah, Kelsey and Hilaire. Hilaire to run 1 in and Kelsey to catch 1. Easy money. Been wrong before, like normally. I normally always get 1 out of 2 when I do the doubles. And I have to do a double because, like you say, as I've said before, I'm a greedy bastard.
Let's have a look at the Chiefs are short. I quite fancy the Bengals. Mahomes is on good form, but 69ers, yeah, it's a tight one. It's a tight one, but that should be a really good game. Should be a high-scoring one.
Yeah, I've gone high. The Chiefs -5.5 and Kelsey to get a touchdown.
I do love how we all become NFL experts. I've had a few nice bets.
I don't normally do those.
I've had a couple
of bet builder things, but I have done today.
I haven't got a Scooby on it.
I did used to get my card marked off Alan Southern. He was a proper judge on it.
Yeah, he was really good.
He was in our Racing Post TV syndicate when I had worn him over. We've got him now. That's Toby. I'll put the pictures up on Twitter every now and again, and Lily's Coco.
Oh yeah.
Syndicate. We used to. It was the in the old days, Paul. Racing Post TV used to be on Wednesday night. Romford was on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it was.
I remember I used to work at SIS at 7 o'clock in the morning, and for the first about 3 hours before the live stuff came in, I used to call virtual races for about 3 or 2 hours or whatever it was, and then have a break. But I used to watch my Romford videos in between. It was great, and then come back and watch it on TV. And because I suppose the beauty of I was on as a guest on Racing Post TV. When I said I had a syndicate, people, I think we had about 30 people, something like that, in the syndicate. And of course, then what I used to do was I just used to give them a card, and they either won a few quid or did their bollocks the same as me.
Yeah. It'd be quite good fun to get a watch along Friday night Romford Dog.
Exactly. If
they'd allow us to run.
That's what we did with T-Bone. We did the same with T-Bone. We had I'm sure it was 9 fellas were in T-Bone. We bought it for $9,000. I'm sure we bought it for $9,000.
It's how the D-Star Lodge Syndicate started, really, wasn't it? I mean, I hadn't met you and Kenny. The first time I met you and Kenny, you were Billy. It was that night when you come back from Cheltenham, and you were all three. You were absolutely
paralytic.
They were shit-faced. Like Tommy, we lost Kenny at the end of the night, and he was sleeping in the toilets.
Yeah.
They had to leave him in the end. Didn't know where the hell he'd gone.
I think I was the first person to ever wear a suit to Romford.
The D-Star Lodge Syndicate started, and it's how it's really carried on, really. Getting shit-faced and everything, yeah. So
yeah, he was a real good dog, D-Star. We were very unlucky with him.
Oh, if he hadn't got that injury, not in the select, he would have been the great thing about him as well is he knew where that winning line was when he first came over, and he would flick up, and he was
enormous as well for a staying dog. He was a real sweetie. We got when we got him rehomed, because we moved kennels to try and freshen him up. So he was in Rugby with Carol Weatherall at the end, and I took him to Suffolk for rehoming, and drove him horribly. He just had the windows open. He was in the back of the car, and he was just as good as gold. Laid down the back of the car, stopped at McDonald's and had some chicken nuggets. And when I handed him over at Suffolk RGT, I had tears streaming down my face. I'd say goodbye to him.
That's how they get you. So selections here then, boys, quick.
6 for me. Play someone. Big prices.
Yeah, I can't. I've got no opinion in this at all. I just looking at it, 3's better than 5 round Henlow. There's a fan of Henlow. Not boring, but I'd go 3 to clear him and win.
Trap 1, pings out, leads.
You've had the best chance, so good luck.
Thank you.
I haven't, so good luck.
Shrewdy. Lucky last. Maiden race, 500 metres. Top and bottom here. And they race away, and 4 has flashed out the boxes. Fabulous Legacy into the turn with Affleck Macy trying to get up on the inside, but didn't quite got forced to check there. And 4's gone round in front here. Fabulous Legacy tracked through by Coulivanani, and a big gap back to Dreamers United, who's making up ground into the penultimate turn. It is 4, 2 lengths clear from 2 now, who's brushed aside the 3 off the last. It's 4 a length clear. It is now Dreamers United, who's come alongside and powered home to victory and wins it nicely in the end. 2 beats 4. Close to the third between 1 and 5. That was a nice performance of Dreamers United. A Hove Raider for Richard Yates.
He's had a couple of winners today. That's on a cracking race.
Yeah, very good.
Unlucky or wrong box, Tom?
If 4 hadn't got that ping, he'd have been gone.
I think so. Yeah.
Four haven't got that ping.
to be
One's
fair-
done.
to be
One's
fair,
done
one-
exactly what I wanted it to. It's
Well, to be-
paced up. It's stayed rails. It's just the fours appeared out of
Got it.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Just
To
not.
be fair to one, it's
Four
it's,
shots.
And
Probably
there,
one,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
to be fair to one, it's probably trapped better today than it did out of trap 4.
Yeah, it did. Been pinned to rail, I think, though, more than anything, because at 4 being there.
But I think if it had been drawn outside of 4, it might have run the bend better and beat it. Anyway. But
Might
saying
have,
that 2's ran a storm and race.
I think Four's cut the bend now. That was the crux of it. Four cut the bend. Four didn't stay middle. It cut the bend, and one had no room. And that's the difference between the half a length, isn't it? Because if she's 3/4 inside 4, then she goes round herself, and she's railing there on the bends. Look around the last 2 turns.
Oh yeah, I think it's just like you said. She trapped better from 1. To be fair, just had another dog go get a bingo break, didn't it?
Yeah.
But that's run a storm of the winner, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, that's it for this afternoon. I must say, I've thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon.
Yes, me too.
Been really good fun.
Out of nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. We're back Friday, Romford, for the Romford FA Cup final. Don't know what the card will be like. We'll see in the week. So it'll be a match bet bonanza. Thank you, Go Wide, Go Wide. Thanks for the show. On to NFL game morning. It's going to be a late one. Cheers, Tricky. Thank you coming in late as well, Watty.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Thanks, lads. Yeah.
Right, cheers for having us.
Bill.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
all.
Been emotional.
Cheers.
See you
Yeah.
later. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, lads.
It's all right.
Ta-da.